and only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Schaeffer and Sliwa reunited in the same studio, yes. Alan, because let's take people behind the curtain.
Yes.
Where were you? You were like on the moon.
Yeah, in the moon, Lake Arrowhead, if you want to call it.
You were Lake Arrowhead?
Yeah.
Which I've never been to. You tell me it's spectacular.
Awesome area. Yeah, great
area.
I
should check it out.
So I was there and obviously did the show. Fugazi did a little bit because I put the background.
It looked good.
No, that's the whole point of why I do that. I do it because at least for people who are watching.
Yeah, but you have
a
headset on.
Yeah, but I don't care if they know that I'm not in studio. I like the consistency of how it looks.
You do like the consistency.
That makes sense.
That is your style.
Yeah.
Now, I made my dad joke with you earlier. I said, who'd you see like Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce at Lake Arrowhead?
You did make that joke.
And you didn't react to it.
It was pretty silent. I got to be honest. It was pretty quiet.
I decided to use it.
I respect it.
You respected that.
Here's a question I got for you. A couple questions. Let's start first with
my neck.
Let's start with the neck situation.
All I do is complain about my neck. I haven't even told Brent. 30 straight days, my neck has been killing me like a pinched nerve. My wife finally today, Alan, made me go to the doctor. She's like, all you do is complain about this.
Did you say you went and got an x-ray or something like that?
So I went to just like a primary. Yeah. I'm like, why am I going to the primary care doctor?
Send me the results. I want to take a look at them.
So, you know that everyone's had the feeling of waking up with a stiff neck, right?
Yeah,
just
worse.
You sleep on the wrong side.
The worst.
But 30 days, and this time it's like a kind of a shooting pain down my right arm.
That's not good.
Right. I can't sleep, and then I wake up and I'm like holding my arm like, ow. And then over the course of the day, it kind of gets better and I can deal with it.
Yeah.
I was doing a wrap-up show last night. I'm like dying. I didn't say anything, but I'm like, my arm is killing me.
I got a couple questions here, and I think this is.
Keep smelling toast everywhere.
Wait, what?
That's a sign you're having a stroke. It was a joke.
Dude, don't say that.
Yeah, don't
scare me, Brent.
He's fine. You're going to be okay. Here's the one thing. Here's my question I have. I think this is more of a male thing. Okay,
which is never go to the doctor.
Why are we idiots?
So true.
Like just to kind of, if I can simplify the conversation. Why are we idiots?
You're right.
Because you said that your wife has been telling you, like, hey, go see somebody.
I'm like, how?
And you're
like,
got
to call?
Yeah, we got to make a phone call. Whose insurance does it go through? Here's the worst part of it, because there's definitely some times where I'm like, yeah, I should probably go see a doctor about this.
My heart stopped.
The problem is, you said it's worse in the morning.
It's terrible.
But it gets just good enough.
Just good enough. Like, it's not even bad.
To convince yourself that, like, hey, I'm good. It's gonna be all right. And it's like noon, and you're like, I can
deal with it.
And then the next morning,
I'm dying.
It's happening all over again.
Here's my theory on it, and we can get into the Padres if you want.
We'll be fine.
Here's my theory on it.
Yeah,
I'm getting older.
That part is true.
That's the part of it.
That part is true.
And I wish I had a solution to it. If someone has a solution, I'm Googling, who hasn't gone to YouTube and be like, pinch nerve exercises.
Yeah.
Or like how to fix a light bulb. That's more me than most people. And there's a lot of good exercises. So I tried them. Nothing happened.
How to fix a pinched nerve and an oil change.
That would be me. I don't know how to do anything, dude.
That'd be awesome. It's all the same video. It's like there's one other person out there that's like, you need both?
Alan, no joke. If my wife Kristen is away, I'm not kidding when I say this. I've done this before, and Brent will attest to this. If I had to make an egg, I go to YouTube.
No, you don't.
I don't know how to make an egg right now.
No, you don't.
I don't know how to make one.
Yeah, no,
I've gone to YouTube.
Listen to me. You know me pretty well. Okay,
I do.
Not a hot take guy. Okay, not somebody that's going to be dramatic or anything else. Okay.
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking
that's
about?
The thing. What do you do?
What do you mean?
I open it and put it on the stove, and then what do I do with it? I'm not kidding.
All right, I'll help you out here.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. You got to actually do it this week. Go make an egg this week so you can go through a little trial and error.
She's like, hey, put a couple eggs out. I'm like,
how do you like your eggs?
Cooked?
Do you like them scrambled? Do you like them scrambled. Over easy? Do you like them
scrambled or hard boiled? I don't know how to do that.
All right, we're good. We're good. I don't know how to do this. Put a little oil on your pan. Put a little oil on your pan.
Yeah.
Let it kind of heat up a little bit. Crack a freaking egg on top. And if you like it scrambled, or you could scramble the eggs before and then put them on. Brother, this is the one thing. Like, if you told me I don't know how to make a pasta, I'd be like, okay, that's fair. That's a little bit more work.
I'll leave you with this, and we'll get to our show. Mm-hmm. One time I had a recipe before I moved to San Diego that called for confectioner sugar and melted butter. I went in the grocery store and I couldn't find them, and I asked the clerk. I said, "Where is the confectioner sugar and the melted butter?" She goes, "The butter you melt." And the confectioner sugar I didn't realize was different than sugar. But I asked the clerk for melted butter. That's awesome. So that's all you need to know about it. It's
the equivalent of saying, hey, where can I buy the melted cheese?
Right.
And they're like, you buy the cheese,
then you
when you go home,
rest.
You can melt it then.
You take care of the rest.
Like, where do I buy the hamburger?
Well, no, you just get the red
meat and then you get the buns.
Speaking of trying to figure things out, kind of not a terrible segue. Whoever was coaching third yesterday, it was like their first time coaching third. It's just waving Padres around. Everyone's getting thrown out.
Xander went through, right? Xander went through.
Did he go through a stop sign? And Xander, we were on the air.
Xander was by far the closest to
being safe.
By the way, that freaking the throw and the tag were just. They were both perfect. I mean, Xander should have scored.
Yeah.
The other two calls, I don't know what the hell the Padres were doing, but yesterday was one of the more frustrating. I really need them to bounce back tonight.
No, I agree with you.
That makes sense. I just need them to rebound to just get whatever the hell that was yesterday out of the taste of your mouth, because you've had such good quality food now for about a month. And yesterday, I went to a restaurant. I don't know what the hell this is.
Yeah, no, it's a very good point. And I don't know if you saw this note Kevin had in this postgame article. It was the first time since 1920 a team had 3 players thrown out at home plate in the first 2 innings.
So happy we were able to accomplish that. So I'm so happy that we were able to be a part of that.
First time since 1920.
I want to put up a banner for that.
Well, we may have the opportunity. And there were other things in there, like first time the Padres had done it since, and the first time any Major League Baseball team in 9 innings. So it was one of those nights where hopefully it doesn't replicate itself. I still feel fine, better than fine about the Padres. They've played well. If this was the culmination of playing poorly, are you serious? They've played like crap.
I'll tell you how I feel. I'm going to stop you on I feel great or I feel this.
Yeah.
Win tonight. If they don't, I think tonight will make me, hey, that was just a bad game. You freaking move on. But you lose tonight. You drop the first 2 against the Mets. Kind of an opportunity to maybe separate yourself a little bit from Arizona. We'll see what happens with Arizona. They got their own situation. I don't know what's gone on.
Tell Martez went back to Arizona for a knee, quote unquote.
Okay,
but he didn't show up to the ballpark yesterday.
Well, I guess I won't. I don't want to say I feel great about them. I want to see them just get a good win tonight, have a complete type of game. Offense does its thing, pitching does its thing, and then we'll all feel a little bit better.
I would like to see, and Robbie Rice starts tonight. By the way, Pat McCarthy, radio announcer for the New York Mets, he'll join us coming up later. This game starts a little after 4 p.m. You'll hear our conversation around 4 p.m. The coach, John Kentera, will be on the show as well at 3:30. He's actually going to be broadcasting live on Friday.
He's going to do a show noon to 3. Yep.
So he's going to do a show noon to 3 here, but he's going to join us coming up at 3:30. I'd like to see Robbie Ray earn his first win as a Padre tonight.
I think every Padre fan, it's funny, watching Casey Mize now with 3 starts, and it's impossible not to have, bring up one without the other, I guess you can say, just because they both came at the deadline. Casey Mize, I'm already looking forward to his next start. Robbie Ray, I'm a little bit like, all right, brother, let's get going here.
Right.
And if there's a game for him to have, a good start, have it be tonight, have it be in New York, have it be against the Mets team that's actually played really well over these last couple of weeks, but certainly a team that the Padres should I don't know, beat up is the right way to put it, but just find a way to get 2 out of 3. I mean, that's kind of been the mindset for the Padres. And I'd like to be coming into tomorrow and we're having a conversation about Robbie Ray having a great start, because really he hasn't had one yet since he's been traded to the Padres.
On one hand, you lose game one, but we've seen them lose game ones recently and still win series. Because I would say on the other hand, you've got Ray, who you're hoping to have his best start tonight, and then King tomorrow. So like, it's in front of you, the way they've played, that you can hopefully still win this series. Even if you didn't, and they've either won or tied 7 consecutive series, 6 wins, 1 tie. Even if they didn't, let's say they went 1-1 the next 2 days.
Yeah.
Arizona's a game behind you, and they're in Boston. You know, if they went 2-0, you'd still be even for a playoff spot, I guess is what I'm saying. So it's like,
sure.
You're in fine position, but I'm with you.
It.
I mean, nothing's been wrapped up. I mean, there's 36 games remaining. There's a lot of work still to be done for the Padres.
Yeah, I'm trying to see the scores right now. Is that who Arizona has?
Boston.
Yeah, Miami's playing the Phillies, so that will get underway here pretty soon, and then Arizona on the Red Sox.
Yeah. So again, I mean, I feel similarly today than I felt yesterday about the Padres, despite the disappointment of yesterday. And that thing is a disappointing loss.
I think it was awful yesterday.
Yeah.
This is just the overall bad game. When we were done, when that second inning was done, you literally didn't have to tune in the rest of the game. Nothing else happened the rest of the game.
You're right. Yeah, it wasn't good. And of course you lose by a run when you have 3 runners thrown out at home plate. Like you lost by a run in a game you had not 1, not 2, but 3 runners thrown out.
You should open up a bed and breakfast.
Sell eggs?
I think you would kill it. I think you do really well.
We would have beds.
Yep.
The breakfast part,
you would just hand people eggs. You'd be like, here's an egg.
You figured.
How many eggs you want? 2. Here's 2 eggs. Here, good luck with everything to you and your family.
Oh, you have to eat a cereal.
Yeah, it was just be cereal. That's hilarious. All right, John Kentera at 3:30. Coming up at 4 p.m., Pat McCarthy, radio broadcaster for the New York Mets. We continue to react to the official sale of the Padres. We'll hear from ownership coming up next Monday. What will they have to say about their purchase of the Padres? Lots to get to. We'll tell you about our giveaways today, including a 4-pack of tickets to see My Chemical Romance. But we're getting you ready for Padres and Mets game 2. Can the Padres bounce back this afternoon? Stay with us on Schaeffer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app. Something big is coming on September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day arrives with massive deals, exclusive deals, and an all-day celebration built for sports fans. The countdown has begun. All roads lead to game day.
The DraftKings Sports app is now live in all 50 states. That means California, from Texas to Florida. Every fan is in on the excitement. One app, every sport, all 50 states. DraftKings Game Day is yours. Remember the date, September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day is the kickoff of a new season, a new era, and the biggest day in sports history. Get ready to celebrate. New DraftKings customers sign up with a code SD760. Spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code SD760.
In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click to claim, issued in non-withdrawable predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends August 23rd. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo. Nationwide based on sportsbook predictions and free-to-play sports contest availability. Varies by state. Schaeffer and Sliwa. San Diego Sports 760. Alan was making coffee. You want me to cover for him? I'm not doing it. What were you doing? You said you had coffee ready. That was like 6 minutes ago.
Yeah, we had DraftKings read to use the restroom.
Wait, so you went restroom and brewed coffee, and you thought you could cover that in this break?
Oil change too.
That's unbelievable.
Shot down to Valvoline real quick. Got a quick oil change. Came back.
I love it. There was
Stop by Walmart. I don't know if you've been into Walmart here. Went to like the grocery section.
Did you get tires? Just some tires. John Kentera, coach, will join us coming up at 3:30. Pat McCarthy, radio broadcaster for the Mets at 4 p.m. There's some wholesome content on my timeline right now, Alan. It's Fernando Tatis Jr. with Juan Soto. Soto's not active right now for the Mets, but they're just kind of like hanging and hugging and shooting the S, so to speak. And it harkens you back to that brief period of time, man. Now, we never saw Tati and Soto in 2022, although we thought we would. And then we saw him in 2023, and the thing went haywire. Mm-hmm. That was it. That was the Soto era of a kind of bizarre, right? I don't even know how to describe. How would you describe the Soto era?
Disappointing.
I mean, I love 2022, but I'm with you.
Actually, no, there's a piece of it. How about this? Maybe let me short.
It's definitely short. It didn't live up to expectations.
Well, not even just didn't live up to expectations. It literally was. It was like
400 days or something.
A quick blip, and then it was done.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, a year and a half, less than a year and a half is nothing.
Especially when you miss the postseason one of the years.
One of the seasons you miss. I'll never forget. It was one of the coolest photos you'll ever see in Padres history. Not anymore, but at the time. Time you got. They're all there. It was the
before the 2023 season?
Before the 2023 season, they did the Fan Fest, maybe.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was.
You got Soto, Manny, Xander just signed, and Tatis.
And these are young dudes.
You're saying to yourself, like, freaking watch
out
the hell out for these four. And what did we really get to see? You know, it's listen, I'm with you. I think actually you were gone. I forget where you were, but I had a show on a Friday. I want to say solo. And Padres were playing the Mets early in the season. And I was having kind of this interaction with some of the Padre fans. I'm like, are you guys still really booing Soto? Like, I wasn't, I don't know. For me, I wasn't a fan of booing him. And I had people calling in. They're like, yeah, but, you know, at that time, there were a lot of conversations about, did Soto want to be here?
Sure.
Did he not? There were some other conversations about, is this guy giving all the proper effort that he needs to give? Whatever the case is. But when I say disappointing, what I mean is that the expectations were so freaking high because you had these studs at the right age. And then it didn't last.
Yeah, I mean, I think the expectations were truly World Series or bust, and they didn't even make the postseason in 2023. But I've always said this, and I think most people disagree.
Crazy.
I think most people disagree with me.
Okay.
I've always said Juan Soto was not the 2023 issue. His on-base plus slugging that year was 930. Far and away tops on the team. Nobody was within 100 points of him. They could say he didn't have meaningful moments. It's true. There wasn't like any defining moment of Juan Soto's 2023 season, nor the Padres. But I just think it's too easy to be critical of Soto for the 2023 failure, where I'm like, I think it might have been everyone else. Like, I think Soto did his part, and nobody else really did much of anything in 2023. It was the Tatis return year. He had missed a full year. He did nothing. I don't know. They're all responsible, including Juan Soto.
I will say this, and this is kind of then you go out and you trade Juan Soto the next summer.
Next winter.
Or the next winter. And you're saying to yourself, like, all right, well, you know, what happens to the Padres from here in 2024? By the way, you change managers as well. Show comes in, and you have one of the more successful seasons that you've ever had as a franchise, and had, you know, a real chance there to make some significant noise in the postseason. Look how opposite, like 1 year you had all the expectations. Yeah, it's funny. I remember I was doing radio in LA, and one of the guys I was doing the show with, Travis Rogers, still does radio up there. He mentioned something to me. He's like, what he was curious about with the Padres in 2023, he's like, look, the attention shifts Now you're expected to win.
Mm.
2022, there was no pressure on you. You went into the postseason. There was no expectations. And just all of a sudden, it's like this gorilla went on every player's shoulders of like, you got to carry this thing. And there's true expectations, and they kind of just folded. 2024, again, the expectations, everybody kind of took their eye off the Padres. I think the Padres, if I look at them this year as well, I'd rather have them the way they are now. They're still kind
Soto?
of a little under the, not even the Soto, the under the radar.
Right.
Like not everybody's really
all
looking
the
at
attention on you.
I think they're better off with less attention.
Honestly, I agree with you. And the question I was going to ask you is like, if money wasn't an object and you could have just kept Juan Soto, would you be better off? Because you trade away Soto, you spin Michael King, who's been like your reliable starter.
Sure, he's been
great. And you've in 2024, of course, had success before falling flat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how would we feel about the organization right now if money was not an object? They had Juan Soto. They never made that trade. Would they be? How much better off would they be?
With Soto?
Yeah, he just was here this whole time. Last couple of years. Are they better? I'm just, are they, is that a dumb question? Of course they're better, or are they not? They don't have Michael King in the equation.
No, I think they're definitely better. I mean, I think offensively, their current players, like, let's go back to earlier in the season. Machado wasn't scaring you. Merrill wasn't scaring you. Tatis wasn't scaring you.
Yeah.
Now you look at their team and all of a sudden it's like, hey, no, these players, they got some legit players. They've always had legit players. The question was, are they going to come through or not? The problem with the Soto deal, it has less to do with Juan Soto. It has more to do with what happened to the Nationals. When people look at the Soto deal, they're paying more attention to Abrams, or they're paying more attention to Wood. They're not paying as much attention to Juan Soto or what happened after Juan Soto.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
That's what people are looking at.
John Kentera, radio legend, obviously in San Diego. You're going to hear him this Friday from 12 to 3 on 760. He'll join us live with more on the Padres as they get ready for Game 2 against the Mets coming up at 4 p.m. right before Padres and Mets. We're going to hear from Pat McCarthy, radio broadcaster for the Mets. But John Kentera on the other side here on Schaeffer Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by iHeartAdvertising.com. Padres are in Queens getting set for game 2 of their series against the Mets. It's going to be Robbie Ray going for the Friars and Zach Thornton going for the Mets. First pitch is at 4:10. Bill Rasmussen, co-founder of ESPN, has passed away at the age of 93. Rasmussen died at his Florida home due to the effects of Parkinson's disease. Run a business and not thinking about radio? I think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, and even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
Let's get John Kentera in here. You're going to hear him this Friday on San Diego Sports 760 as well from 12 to 3. And with us right now on Schaeffer and Sliwa. Coach, how are you, my friend? Good to have you on.
What's up, Coach?
Well, I'm doing well, John and Ellen. Thanks for having me, and looking forward to having a fun 3-hour show on Friday. Give a couple of guys a well-deserved day off, so we'll have a good time.
Well, no, we're not getting the day off. I don't know if it's well-deserved for Fletch and Jonathan.
I don't think he was talking about us.
He should have been.
Yeah,
he should have been talking about us. John, what's it been like? And you have a lot to talk about Friday about this Padres team, but they've just turned their season entirely around here over the last month. What's it been like to watch from your seat, and how do you think they've been able to do it?
Well, I think a variety of different things. I think one of the things, you take a look at the acquisition of Luis Rengifo. Here's a guy that, had some pretty good years, had some up and down years as well with the Angels, then went to Milwaukee and was only hitting 205, got DFA'd, and the Padres signed him when he became a free agent to a minor league contract. I think he's given the team a real shot in the arm. And I also think, Camposano has added to the offense, and even Freddie Fermin, even though he's still hitting under 200, once upon a time he was down, hitting in the 140s, and he's getting close to 200 right now. So you're getting a little bit of offense from your catching core that, early in the year was kind of, a little bit abandoned, but, Camposano is really doing a nice job. But, I think more than anything else, that game last night was tough to swallow. That's a ball game they should have ended up winning probably 5-1 or maybe even 6-1. They kind of an anomaly. They get all those guys thrown out at home plate there in the first couple of innings. But I think the starting pitching's been good. I'm very anxious tonight to see how Robbie Ray performs. I've always liked Robbie Ray. He has not pitched great since he's been in a Padre uniform, but I think he'll get that turned around. I think Casey Mize, the last couple of starts, has done a good job. And, the thing that's been pretty consistent, they've had a couple of hiccups here and there, but you go to them so much as that bullpen. That bullpen is where this team's bread and butter is. And, they got to keep, Morahone and Miller healthy. You can make it a 6 or 7 inning game, and then you bring those guys in, and more times than not, it's going to be lights out for the opponent. So, I just think a lot of guys are stepping up. Fernando obviously has been much better the last couple of months, and now his power's starting to show up again. So, there's some really positives right now. And are they a perfect ball club? No, but they're competing day in and day out, and teams more so than not are having to beat the Padres. The Padres aren't beating themselves.
Coach John Kentera joining us here on the Schaeffer and Sliwa show. Coach, I know you've, obviously your entire life you've followed, you've watched as a fan, you've been as integral a part of the Padres as anybody really in the city over the years. This upcoming Monday, Jose E. Feliciano and Kwanzaa Jones will be introduced as the new owners of the San Diego Padres, majority owners. To you, Coach, what are you hoping, and not necessarily even what they say on Monday, but more what they do? What to you would make this the right ownership? If we're looking back in a couple of years, what are they doing that you think is going to qualify them to being the right owners for San Diego?
Well, I think more than anything else, Alan, I've seen ownerships come in here, and they're all excited. It's a new play toy for a lot of these people that have a lot of money. And, initially it's really, really fun. They wanted to come to the ballpark and bring their friends out and, sit up in the box and all that good stuff. But over a period of time, go in the ballpark day in and day out. I don't care if you're a ticket taker or one of the service reps or one of the ushers. going to the ballpark 81 times a year gets draining. I mean, it's a lot. And I know they'll have a beautiful parking spot and all that, but I want to see them be present. I don't want them to just be here on special occasions. I think it's important for any ownership to be out there shaking hands and kissing babies, quite frankly. And, I don't know if they currently have a home here. I would hope they would. If they don't, they would purchase a home and they'd be really a part of our community. I do like some of the things that I've heard about them. I've done a lot of investigating just on my own, and they both seem to be fantastic human beings. They've done a lot of charity work, and I think they'll probably continue to do that. And I also think that, some of the statements we saw in that press release, and we'll find out more on Monday, I think they've done a good job. I mean, any owner in their right mind would be crazy if they didn't say, hey, we want to bring a world championship to San Diego, and we want to be a part of the community, and we want to have a great experience for you fans when you come to Petco Park. And all those things are being done. I kind of go back to a meeting I had with Peter Seidler before he hired A.J. Preller, and he said to me, he goes, John, he goes, I want the Padres to be a competitive ball club year in and year out. He goes, 4 out of 5 years, I want to be in the playoffs. And, every once in a while you're going to have injuries that, knock you off course. And, I think for the most part, I mean, the Padres make the playoffs this year, 5 out of the last 7 years. Right now we're sitting at 4 out of the last 6, which is the best in Padre history. And I guess the other thing that I would say regarding this group is I would really like to see them along, and this would have to go along with AJ Pearl. I'd really like to see them be able to build that minor league system up. And I know they've built up and traded a lot of guys, but I would really like to see them build up the minor league system to where we're starting to grow more home-grown Padres rather than trading them away for guys that we're hoping they're going to continue to have good numbers in their career. I'm big, being a baseball guy, I'm really big on building the farm system, and I think that's something that I'd like to see this new ownership really try to get rolling again, because I think that's going to be the lifeblood of our organization long term.
Makes sense. I think a lot of people would agree with that take. John Kentera, coach, with us right now on Schaeffer and Sliwa. What do you think of the job that Craig Stammen has done? Thrust from middle reliever into not just coaching, but managing as his first time in baseball. What do you make of the job he's done so far?
Well, I'll tell you what, John, you're stealing a little bit of my thunder, because I do want to talk about this in great length on Friday. But I'll tell you what, I don't think Craig has done anything that's been eye-popping as a manager, nor do I think he's done anything you say, oh, my God, why is this guy managing a Major League Baseball team? I think he's been very consistent. I guess there's been some times when they've lost a ball game and I watch the post game, I wish he'd get a little mad, or he's been very, very positive. I think he's done a good job considering he's coming in for a guy like Mike Schilt, who rubbed everybody the wrong way, including me, to where last year I would turn off the post-game TV show. I got tired of his, critique and all the media when they were just asking basically a basic question, in my opinion. Buddy Black used to encourage people to ask questions to try to, teach people baseball. And Mike Schilt, anytime you asked him any kind of question, he took a brundage to it. So I think Craig Stammen's been a breath of fresh air. I thought it was very interesting, a guy that I've known for a long time. And you guys, I'm sure, have had him on the show. Bob Nightingale came out with a comment yesterday that if Craig Stammen and the Padres don't make the playoffs, Craig Stammen may be the scapegoat for this organization. And I'm not buying that. I'm not buying it one bit. I think Craig's done a really, really good job of just being, the steward of the ship. I think he also was very smart in hiring the guys he hired around him. Randy Knorr, good, solid baseball guy, as his bench coach. He had Ruben Niebla, Bob Henley, who I'm sure had a sleepless night last night being the third base coach. That was a tough one last night. Really, the only one that I would argue that maybe he shouldn't have sent was Cronenworth, because it would have been one out and the bases loaded if he held him up at third. The one on Manny, I thought actually they should have challenged that call, and Bogarts ran through the stop sign on the third one. But as a third base coach, he probably felt like the dumbest guy in the ballpark that night. But, they've done a good job, I think, hiring good baseball people. And This team is continued to work hard, and he's got this thing turned around. Let's see if they can finish the job.
The coach, John Kentera, joining us here, Schaeffer and Sliwa show. Coach, it's been obviously a huge turnaround for the Padres, and you mentioned a couple of the names, Casey Mize, Robbie Ray, but their offense and what Tatis and Jackson Merrill and some of these other names, Ty France, what he's been able to do all season, just as we kind of get ready here for the final about month and a half, maybe a little bit less than a month and a half of the regular season, just how I don't know if dangerous is the right way to put it, but how much do you believe in what you've seen over the last month is something that is sustainable for not just the rest of the regular season, but potentially a playoff run?
Well, Alan, I think it's sustainable. Machado's got to start hitting more consistently. I mean, I don't have all the numbers in front of me right now, but I mean, he hit well under 200 really until July. He had a really good July, and now he's really dropped off again in August. And he has not been a good postseason hitter, Alan. I mean, he's got, I think, a little over 200 at bats in the postseason. He's a 209 career hitter, so that troubles me a little bit. But Merrill's made some adjustments to where he's able to get to the high fastball now. Fernando's playing with a lot of flair. I love when he steals bases, but his percentage really, considering his speed and his ability, he's gotten thrown out far too many times this year. I think he has to start becoming a little bit more of a student of the game on stealing bases, because I think he can be a real threat there. Bogarts has shown a little power. He hadn't homered, Alan, since May 30th. He got a couple of homers here in the last week. But I think just kind of keep doing what you're doing. Play good defense. They normally play good defense. They play as well as defense really as anybody in baseball right now. And Cronenworth's come alive. And you mentioned Ty France, guys. I think that's going to be an interesting topic because he signed a 1-year contract. I mean, how willing are the Padres going to be to extend him past this year? Is he going to hit the free agent market? I don't know what kind of contract you offer a guy like Ty France. The only thing I know is the guy's done a heck of a job on both sides of the ball this year.
He really has, and he's been a big piece, and I do wonder if they'll have a chance to keep him or not.
Kentera's asking what the finances are. What are you offering next year?
Here's what I would offer. John, honestly, what would you say? Like, I'll throw something out. Tell me if you think this is reasonable, too high or too low. Like it's Goldilocks. 2 for $20.
I think 2 for $20 is fair. I'd be afraid to go a third year.
Yeah,
I would go 2 for $20. I don't know if the Padres would be willing to do that.
Yeah,
I also think they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do with Gavin Sheets. They're going to bring him back again next year. I would kind of one, maybe not. How much is the plantar fasciitis, played into his poor performance swinging the bat this year?
John, great to hear your voice, man. We're excited to see you this Friday. You can listen to John Kentera right here on 760 from 12 to 3 this Friday afternoon. But
yes,
Coach,
sir.
We appreciate you taking time for us.
Thank you, Coach.
Hey, I appreciate it. And Alan, we didn't even get into the Lakers. We'll do that another time. And John, get ready for your depth chart, man. Football's not
ready.
Far away for our Aztecs. Looking forward to the Portland State game.
There we go. I'm looking forward to seeing you at Snapdragon Stadium, and I'm working on those depth charts right now, John. All right, great catching up. Thanks again for doing it.
I'm going to have him save himself.
You're welcome, guys. Take care.
We'll have Coach save himself a migraine worrying about the Lakers stuff. Let that be.
You're just going to let that be.
That is a migraine.
I want to let that be. Yeah. We'll get into it at some point here this afternoon. There are a couple of developing news stories around the NOS we must get into. Plus, Coach said something fascinating about Craig Stammen's future that we will discuss as well coming up. Plus, Pat McCarthy, radio broadcaster for the New York Mets at 4 p.m. here on Schaeffer and Sliwa.
Cup of coffee?
San Diego Sports 760. I'm good. Live on the iHeartRadio app.
Full brew.
I'm good.
SDFC is back on the road tomorrow night when they take on Portland. Our coverage with Adrian and Darren begins at 7 p.m. on your home for SDFC San Diego Sports 760. What if
tomorrow night, just like that?
What if I know they've been kind of cranking out
Wednesday,
games,
and then Saturday, and then Wednesday?
Well, we work every day.
Yeah, but we don't run 15 miles.
Well, you know what? We talk 15 miles.
It's true. It's true.
There's a lot of talking that goes on.
There's a lot of talking. No, I agree.
Between the two of us.
I would agree with that. Developing NL West stories, Alan, as we get ready for Padres and Mets this afternoon from New York. Edwin Diaz, this might be actually a win for the Dodgers, has been placed on the IL. He's been certifiably awful. So I don't know what that means for them in the postseason or even for now, but he's been terrible. And then Ketel Marte, the star slugger for Arizona, didn't appear for whatever reason last night. We touched on this. And he's been sent back to Arizona for an MRI on his knee. Now, I don't know if that's cover, Alan, or if that's accurate, but he didn't appear yesterday. He was placed on the restricted list. He will not appear at least over the course of the next couple of days.
Let's do the Edwin Diaz one first.
Okay.
Because I do agree with you. I think those are, for the most part, significant stories. Yeah. Is this he's not pitching well, so just put him on the IL?
I tend to go that. I mean, it might be both.
And look, I'm not questioning anything. Yeah. I know there's times where it's like, hey, let's get him some rest. Let's get him, maybe he's got some aches and pains, and let's get him back on track, whatever the case is. Yeah, that one, I think because he's been awful, I think what you said in the beginning is more interesting.
Like, is that a benefit?
Will they figure something else out? Will somebody else kind of hop into that role? So, and to be frank with you, I pay such little attention. I genuinely do in regards to the Dodgers. Right. Of course, when they're playing the Padres, it's a different story. Or maybe a little bit in that Brewers series because it's like, hey, this could be a good playoff matchup. Yeah. But the only thing I've seen is just every time it feels like he comes out, he's struggling. So, I mean, maybe it is kind of a benefit to them to say, why don't you park over here for, how long is he on the IL for?
Well, minimum of
50
10.
Or minimum of 10.
What do you think his ERA is in 16 appearances this year?
Well, he was injured for a while too.
He was. He's only made, he's barely appeared.
His ERA
early and then later. What do you think it is? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 11.85. His whip, walks and hits per inning. He's allowing 2.56 base runners per inning in 16 appearances. He's got a negative 1.5 WAR. That's impossible.
2.5 base runners per inning.
And a 12 ERA, essentially. As in, he will not be closing for them in the postseason. Now they know, well, we're going to have to figure something out. Now, I will say this, and I've said this before. Once you get past the deadline, it's like, you got what you got, and then you make the best of it.
And I wonder, in their case, it's like, all right, let's give them a couple of weeks to figure some stuff out.
Try one more time.
Bring it back and try it again.
Try one more time. I mean, listen, are they the organization that can overcome the Edwin Diaz and Kyle Tucker situation? Yes, they are. Doesn't mean they will, but yes, they are the organization that can overcome that.
Yeah, that's why, like, if that's the biggest advantage is you can stockpile so many players. Losing one or two guys isn't going to kill you. Where I think many other organizations,
it could sink you.
I mean, you just think of this here for a second. Padres lose.
Well, this is the equivalent of, like, if let's just say you
I'm
could
not
put
even going to say
Miller, but if you put Mason Miller
know.
to the side, forget it. Saying, you know what, we can overcome Mason Miller having a 12 ERA and his health, and we can overcome Fernando Tatis Jr. having just the worst year of his career. Right? That's what you'd be saying.
You were selling then at the deadline.
Right.
Because you were nowhere near a playoff spot. Right. If that was going to be the case.
Yeah, because Miller would be the difference for this Padres team of everything.
Of course.
He's been perfect in save situations.
And Tatis has been great for 2.5, 3 months.
60 plus games. Yeah, I would agree. Now, the Dodger-Padre dynamic, remember, I think we touched on this maybe with the rap question, like, can we entertain the division? And you and I both said, no, let's not walk down the path. And I'm further going down that path of not going there after yesterday, when the Padres actually lose a heartbreaker. The Dodgers beat Colorado convincingly yesterday. It's an 8-game separation. We weren't talking about it at 7. We spent 0 seconds on it yesterday. But yeah, the Dodgers are going to win the division. But I don't know what it means for the postseason. Does Kyle Tucker need to hit in the postseason? Does Edwin Diaz need to pitch well in the postseason? I don't know.
So only thing I care about. We got to make the damn postseason.
I know.
That's it. Like that's the Padres got to win a game today versus the Mets.
That's right.
They got to get Robbie Ray to look, hopefully, like the Robbie Ray looked like when he was in San Francisco, certainly this year, and certainly against the Padres right before the trade deadline. Those to me got to get Jason Adam back. What's the next step for Joe Musgrove? Like there are so many. What's new ownership speech going to be like on Monday? There's so many, honestly, great stories around the Padres right now. You kind of got to just let everybody else figure out whatever's going on with other NL teams or other teams that the Padres could potentially face down the road. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
It's funny you say that. I'm spending way more time thinking and watching the scores of the Phillies and the Diamondbacks
of course
than I am of the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Because of the teams that are around the Padres.
There's no, and if this was flipped and Arizona had an 8-game lead on everybody else and the Dodgers and the Padres were a game separated,
we spend more time on
that's it. That's simple.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Tell me the Marte thing, the latest on that.
I mean, the latest is he's been sent back to Arizona.
Okay.
I don't know if it's like cover for what played out yesterday to say he's dealing with a knee. But typically when players are dealing with something, you still show up to the ballpark, right? So that they can say, oh, we're going to place him on the IL because he's going to have an MRI and he, whatever.
So
but he didn't show up.
So how did that come out publicly? Like there was he didn't show up to the ballpark.
I think the reporting just suggested it. Like,
were they covering him saying, yeah, he's not here planned? Like, what were they saying?
I don't know, but I think the organization, whether it was Torey Lovullo, their manager, or someone said, listen, tell Marte's not here. We have to. You can't not be there. So you either go on a restricted list or there has to be an explanation. He's part of a union. He has to show up.
Wow.
So I think they just had to make a decision. Like, he's going on the restricted list. We don't know his status. And now the status is knee, which maybe it is. And to your point on Edwin Diaz, it's IL. Is it real like you're injured or is it real like you're pitching terribly? Is Marte dealing with something off the field and they're covering for what he's dealing with off the field by saying he's had a knee?
Sure.
But that's a very interesting story.
It's interesting also. I mean, we'll see what happens and we'll find out more info. And for us, the reason why it's like here you are going neck and neck with the Diamondbacks.
Don't say neck. Not necessarily. I have a pinched nerve.
Here you are going pinch nerve with the Diamondbacks, right? Anywhere you turn, your nerve could pinch, right?
It's true. It's true.
All the way down to the wire.
Dude.
No, but these are such critical games between both of these franchises. Yeah. Missing Marte, that dude's a stud. He's an absolute stud.
Big loss. Again, do
you want me to move? I can move over there.
No,
so
I'd
that
like
way we're just staring at each other.
I'd like you to put your elbow in my nerve, but that's kind of weird. But that's the feeling that I have as a human right now.
What's the latest? When do you get your X-ray back?
I had the X-ray.
You got the X-ray.
But I mean, I don't know what to do with it. I'm like, I don't know what it means. But they sent it to the doctor, and they said Thursday we'll have the result. I'm like, I play in the big leagues. I feel like they would know the results if I was Tatis.
Sure. You should say like, hey, I've seen plenty of games where a player got injured.
They know the results
by halftime. The tweet's already out there.
You don't play for
the tweet's already out there with the information. You're telling me I got to wait till Thursday?
Like, sir, you're a broadcaster.
Like, sir, there's 3 guys behind you.
There were like 17 people in the office. All right, Pat McCarthy, radio broadcaster for the New York Mets, will join us on the other side. Padres and Mets coming up in about 20 minutes. Also, we're going to give away a 4-pack of tickets to see My Chemical Romance in the 4:00 hour. We're here until 6. Pat McCarthy, radio announcer for the Mets, next on Schaeffer and Sliwa.
Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by iHeartAdvertising.com. The Padres and Mets are about to get started with game 2 of their series up in New York. It's going to be Robbie Ray going against Zach Thornton. First pitch here is in about 10 minutes. Bill Rasmussen, co-founder of ESPN, has passed away at the age of 93. Rasmussen died at his Florida home from the effects of Parkinson's disease. Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
All right, hour 2 here of Schaeffer and Sliwa as the Padres get ready for the Mets in about 10 or 15 minutes. We caught up right before the show with the radio broadcaster for the New York Mets, and that is Pat McCarthy. His dad's been a long-time MLB broadcaster.
Yeah.
But Pat McCarthy joining us about an hour ago to discuss the Mets and the Padres and the series, and we started the conversation by asking Pat, how have the Mets done this over the last 2 weeks?
I mean, we've been waiting a long time for it. And, you know, we sat here each and every night thinking, you know, at a certain point, this team's going to have to rattle off 7 or 8 wins in a row, or in the Mets case right now, win 10 of 13 games. And they just hadn't done it. And for whatever reason, now things are moving in the right direction. And there's a couple of reasons why. I mean, number one, it's the starting pitching. And all season long, the Mets had been consistent at searching for consistency in the rotation, and they weren't getting it. You know, even Nolan McLean, who threw the ball really well last night, had gone through a couple of rough starts. And yeah, Freddie Peralta just wasn't the guy consistently that they were hoping he would be. And Sean Manaea was pitching out of the bullpen and was struggling at that and was searching for some kind of role. Clay Holmes had really been the only consistent member of the Mets rotation, and then he goes down at the middle of May. And that was the night against the Yankees when Clay went down, that it was just like, maybe this just isn't the Mets season. And from there, they were searching. And then Nolan started to turn things around. Christian Scott came up and has been throwing the ball really well. Zach Thornton came up, started throwing the ball really well. And then Sean Manaea turned into the guy that the Mets really relied on, part of that magical run in 24. So it starts with the starting pitching. It starts with the fact that they're healthy. There was a stretch for about 8 weeks in the season when Bo Bichette, Francisco Lindor, and Juan Soto had played in a combined 6 games together. And that's not an exaggeration. 6 games to the first 6 weeks of the season. And this roster was just never at full strength. And now Soto is still down, but they're getting contributions from guys like AJ Ewing and Carson Bench in their rookie seasons. Bo Bichette's turned into the player that they'd hoped he would have been. And because of that, even with a lot of the trades that they made with the bullpen, which was such a strength of this team, guys are stepping up and they're winning close games. You know, they've won 4 straight games right now, all 1-run games. And we wondered how they were going to figure out a way to get 27 outs, and guys are stepping up and getting it done.
You mentioned Juan Soto there. I know you mentioned he's out. Just how has that experience gone? I mean, I think a lot of San Diegans here obviously got a chance to see Juan Soto. Gets traded to the Yankees. The bidding war between the Yankees and the Mets. How's that experience gone so far?
Well, I mean, he has been everything is advertised, and this has kind of been a weird season for him, that he goes down and misses 3 weeks and comes back a lot faster than I think anybody expected, and then goes on an incredible run to making an all-star team. And he was a major bright spot on a team that was searching for them. And then Francisco Lindor comes back, and you finally think like, okay, you know, this team is finally looking like what it was supposed to. And we got about 2 months of that before Juan went down with the calf injury again. So he just hasn't been fully healthy this season, yet he's still putting up great numbers. And then last year he comes out of nowhere, gets off to a weird start and comes out of nowhere and has a near 40-40 season. I mean, that was just, I don't think anybody saw that one coming. So it's a shame that we haven't had Juan in the postseason yet and haven't seen him part of a team chasing a pennant. But so far, he's lived up to every single dollar. And now the Mets are just hoping that they can get him back on the field before the season ends.
Pat McCarthy calls Mets games and is joining us right now on Schaeffer Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. Padres and Mets getting ready for game 2 of their 3-game series. Also familiar to Padres fans, of course, is Andy Green, 4-year manager of San Diego. He managed Manny Machado during his first year with the Padres as well. And all of a sudden, the Mets are over 500, I believe, now with Andy Green as their interim manager. How would you describe the job he was asked to do and what he's been able to do over these last couple of months?
Yeah, Andy came into an impossible situation. And he takes over for a guy that was incredibly well respected in New York in Carlos Mendoza, and genuinely one of the great people in this game, and was loved. And that's really hard to replace, especially when expectations were so high. So Andy takes over a team that is searching for its identity. And I've been so impressed with how Andy has handled things and stepped in, and he has done a great job. I think there's something to be said about guys getting a second opportunity at managing and taking the experiences from their first time around and learning from mistakes and realizing what works and what doesn't. And I think Andy's done a great job. And if the dialogue around the Mets right now has been that Andy is still going to return to his position as a farm director next season, but I think Andy is opening a lot of eyes to a guy that if and when he wants to manage on a full-time basis, he's definitely going to be a name to consider, because you can take now his experience as a big league player, as a manager, as a bench coach, as a front office executive, and now an interim manager, and having a lot of success with the Mets. I think it's gone really well. I think he has brought a looseness and an energy to this team. And it's been really cool to see him grow and get more comfortable in this role as the months have gone on.
Pat, I'm curious to get your thoughts. How are the Padres perceived out in New York? It's funny, leading up to the trade deadline, you hear a lot of chatter around the Padres, and a lot of it associated with the Yankees, and it is what it is. Adrian Morihone, Mason Miller. Here they are, a chance to make the postseason 3 years in a row. Clearly, they have put themselves in a position in the NL that making the postseason is a priority. How are the Padres perceived in the NL, specifically in that New York area?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think it's probably a little bit different amongst the people that are in the day-to-day versus maybe the casual fan that isn't always up at 10 o'clock and watching the Padres and some of the West Coast games. But I think, those of us that follow the game day to day know how good this Padres team is, and know that it's probably the best bullpen in all of baseball. And it's filled with some really impressive names in the starting lineup as well. So I think those that watch the game and pay attention to the game, no matter where they live, are well aware of how good the Padres are. And as a team that is trying to contend for a World Series every year. And for us, I think we're always just curious of what the deadline's going to look like, because you just absolutely never know what AJ Preller's going to do. And you sit on the edge of your seats, because from a distance, it's just fun to see what kind of chaos he's going to create as a general manager. So that's a lot of fun from the East Coast from our perspective, because we get to just watch and see, like, how is he going to trade pieces to get pieces and somehow end up with Mason Miller. But I think that anybody that watches the game, no matter where they live, understand that this is a Padres team that has the expectation of getting not just to the postseason, but winning some postseason series and contending for a pennant.
Pat, final one for me is just on the Mets kind of transitioning into 2027. We don't even know what 2027 looks like, but under David Stearns, with obviously the financial resources they have, what type of off-season expectations are there for the Mets organization? We don't know how the season ends, but just based on where they are right now, what is it going to take to get them back towards the top of the National League East?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think the first question mark is, first of all, what is the salary cap going to look like if we do have one? And how is that going to affect teams like the Mets that have a lot of big contracts? So I think that's the first hurdle. And I think number two is, what does Bo Bichette do? Because he has an opt-out, and whether he decides to stay in New York for another year and maybe bet on himself to potentially opt out a year later. And then they'll have to rebuild the bullpen because they traded away all of their high leverage arms. So they're going to have to remake the bullpen a little bit. It'll still be anchored with Devin Williams at the back end and potentially with Kodai Senga as he makes the transition to a full-time high leverage reliever. And then they'll have to figure out the starting rotation as well. Can Sean Manaea build off this strong second half? Can Nolan McLean, Christian Scott, and Zach Thornton take a step forward? Then who's your fourth starter? So those will be some of the question marks. But for the most part, when you look at the roster in terms of the position players, a lot of them are pretty set. Now they'll have to figure out first base. Jared Young's done a great job filling in so far. They expected Jorge Polanco to be that guy. He's been hurt all season long. But, there are still spots in that are going to be pretty locked down. I mean, you look at the outfield right now, as long as Juan Soto's a full-time position player, he's in left field. Then you've got A.J. Ewing in center and Carson Benj in right. They technically still have Luis Robert Jr. under contract for next year, but they can buy him out for $2 million instead of giving him his $20 million club option. Francisco Lindor is pretty set at shortstop for the foreseeable future. Marcus Simeon's under contract at second. Luis Torrens, who Padres fans know, has turned himself into to call him the best backup catcher in baseball right now is actually, I think, a insult to him, because he has turned himself into not just a great backup catcher, but a great all-around catcher, to that he is 1A and 1B with Francisco Alvarez. So the Mets are in a pretty interesting position moving forward in 27. They're going to have pieces that they need to fill, but are still a really solid team in terms of what has already been built.
But I'll squeeze one more in here on the CBA and what potentially happens in the offseason. But just to follow up on that, I feel like every time we do talk, and in San Diego, I think most people are in favor of some type of boundaries, and a lot of it has to do with just being in the NL West and seeing what the Dodgers are doing just a couple hours north. But people always say, yeah, but it's, look at the Mets, as in you can spend as much money as you want. It doesn't guarantee you that you're going to have success. What do Mets fans want to see? Do Mets fans like this? We'll just spend as much as we possibly can, knowing that it doesn't guarantee success? Or do you think structure is even good for a market like that?
Oh, I think that everybody knows that the foundation of a sustainable winning franchise is the farm system. And Steve Cohen has even come out and said that. He said, listen, in the time being, I will pay what I have to pay. But the way for teams to thrive and succeed is through a farm system and bringing up young, controllable, cheap talent. So, yeah, I think what gives the Mets their superpower is that they do have the ability to spend money. But that's why David Stearns in this front office is here to develop talent like he did in Milwaukee. So that way the Mets can find those controllable young pieces and then still supplement that where they need in free agency. Yeah, I think everybody's kind of in the same boat, that they would like to see more consistency across baseball, and that, no matter your market size, teams can compete. So, what that looks like, I don't know. But then I also think, how close were the Dodgers to not winning back-to-back World Series last year and the year before, right? I mean, the Blue Jays are a couple of outs away from winning the World Series. The Padres and the Mets both had opportunities to knock them out in 24. The Phillies had a chance in 25. So, yeah, the Dodgers did get it done. But if you look back to those games, there was other ball bounces one way or the other. Things could be a lot different. So I think the Dodgers are obviously the scary boogeyman, but I think that it's also just how the games ended up unfolding.
Pat McCarthy, radio announcer for the New York Mets, also the former broadcaster for the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, like myself, AAA.
That's right.
Back in the day, Pat, appreciate you taking time for us here in San Diego.
Anytime, guys.
All right. While Pat was talking to us, the Padres run, I hope. Serious with my camera. I'm back.
No, you're fine.
All right. Updates from Citi Field. Plus, the NFL plans to expand. Where are they looking? Domestically or internationally? Roger Goodell weighing in. Tons to get to here in the 4 o'clock hour. We'll give away tickets to see My Chemical Romance this hour as well. On Schaeffer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, hey guys, it is Schaeffer and Sliwa. Something big is coming on September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day arrives with massive deals, exclusive deals, an all-day celebration built for sports fans. The countdown has begun. All roads lead to game day.
The DraftKings Sports app is now live in all 50 states. That means California, from Texas to Florida. Every fan is in on the excitement. One app, every sport, all 50 states. DraftKings Game Day is yours. Remember the date, September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day is the kickoff of a brand new season, a new era, and the biggest day in sports history. Get ready to celebrate. New DraftKings customers sign up with the code SD760. Spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code SD760.
In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click to claim. Issued in non-withdrawable predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends August 23rd. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo. Nationwide based on sportsbook predictions and free-to-play sports contest availability varies by state.
All right, our iHeartRadio music festival is back. Live performances by the Goo Goo Dolls, Kenny Chesney, Lainey Wilson, Snoop Dogg, Weezer, and more. September 18th and 19th at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. 2 nights, 1 stage. While the world is listening on iHeartRadio, you could be there. 3 chances every weekday for you to win your trip for 2 plus $1,000 in spending money. Next chance to text and win happens around 5 p.m. right here on San Diego Sports 760.
So explain this to me like I'm sick.
Got you.
Fernando Tatis Jr. has hit, I think, 4 home runs this year, 450 feet or further.
Okay.
The only player in the sport to do that, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it then that he hasn't consistently hit for more power this year? That's like the billion-dollar question, right? You watch some of these home runs out, and it looks like he's hitting 70 home runs in a season.
Here's the problem. The problem right now is when you spot 60 games without hitting or 50-plus games without hitting a home run,
then you're not going to hit 70.
I'm being honest. Like, he was so lost in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And maybe it's mechanics. Maybe it's thinking too much. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
He's in an absolute groove. If let's say we were halfway through the season now, I mean, the guy's going to get to 25, 30 home runs if that was the case. The problem is just, again, you go a third of the season without hitting a home run. This is what your numbers are going to be.
But doesn't, with the power, the raw power he possesses, doesn't it feel like even a half year? Like, it just seems like he's a guy that's got to hit 40 home runs again. He did it once.
Well, what happened
2021?
Remember, everybody's like, yeah, but he's hitting the ball so hard, he just can't get the ball up.
Well, now everything's in the air. I mean, 14 home runs. Listen, this guy's hitting 20 home runs. Mm-hmm. It's not going to look like we all saw it. Does that make sense? Like,
I agree.
If you're just a baseball fan and you look back at Tatis's 26 in 5 years and be like, oh, hit 285, 20 homers, 35 steals, 800 OPS, like solid year is what you're going to say.
But he condensed it in such a small,
until like a half season, right?
Yeah.
So Tatis has hit a leadoff home run. It was actually the first pitch of the game, Alan. And the Padres are leading the Mets in the first, 1-0, trying to even up the series at a game apiece.
Need a good one from Robbie Ray today.
Yeah.
So let's just, I'm going to play out a hypothetical for you. And I know we got some NFL stuff to do. We'll do that at 4:45. But let me just play off this Robbie Ray stuff here real quick.
Okay.
If like what are proper, like what are fair expectations for Robbie Ray? Like, what you made the trade, he's had a couple of starts. All right, he's been okay, but most people think he'll be fine. What are proper expectations for Robbie Ray?
Tell me I'm wrong. He should be a quality start every time out, which 6 innings, 3 runs or less. That's very reasonable for me. He's thrown a lot of innings. He got through a scoreless first today. He's got to be able to go 6 innings, 3 runs. Now he went 4 innings, battled, and then I think 5 innings
or something. Yeah,
he's going. So, and it's only his first 2 starts. I think I want to see 6 innings consistently from him.
Is let's jump forward and pretend here for a second. They get out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
1-0 Padres.
I got my back turned to it. Yep. I just look at your facial expression.
And
I'm like, was something good happen? Something bad happen? I can't tell.
It's good.
Are they figuring out their rotation? They make the postseason. Is anything locked of what their rotation would be?
I think today.
I'm not talking about that. Like, I'm saying that is the next month and a half you audition. Make the postseason. Is part of that an audition? Like, what if Casey Mize just is dealing? Can Casey Mize get a game 1 over Michael King?
That's an interesting point. I would think no, unless King either A, deals with injury or is completely
he's good.
ineffective.
He's healthy. He's this.
I would think Michael King gets the ball in game 1 if you can give it to him. That's how I see it right now. Your point is a valid one, which is what if either Mize or Ray are so good that they supplant Michael King? I think it's possible. I find it unlikely. I think King is the guy that's been here. It's been at the front of your rotation.
Sure.
Did he pitch on opening day? I always get this.
No. This was Pivetta. Remember Pivetta versus the Tigers?
Right. He had earned it.
Pivetta gave up 4, I think, in like the first.
Right.
Remember that he gave up. We were down at outside of Petco. He gave up 4 in like the first inning
against Scuba, right? Yeah. Who won that game? Did Detroit win?
Tigers 8-1 or something like that.
Yeah. I blacked it out, I guess. But no, it's an interesting point. I mean, A, you got to get there, but B, at least you have names you could turn to now because you've added Robbie Ray.
100%. Oh, it looks completely different than it looked in the past.
All right, so Toddy has homered. Padres have the early lead over the New York Mets. We'll keep you updated over the course of the afternoon. All right, on the other side, we'll get to the wrap. Also this hour, your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see My Chemical Romance. That's August 30th at Petco Park. We'll give away those tickets coming up later this hour. We're here until 6 p.m. Schaeffer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app.
Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by iHeartAdvertising.com. Padres and Mets are playing game 2 of their series right now in New York. Currently, we're in the top of the second inning, and it is 1-0 San Diego. Bill Rasmussen, co-founder of ESPN, has passed away at the age of 93. Rasmussen died at his Florida home from the effects of a Parkinson's disease. Running business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, and even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
All right, Schaeffer and Sliwa. Have you ever seen My Chemical Romance, Alan?
I've not seen them.
Well, then you here's the deal. Then you can. Coming up later this month, August 30th at Petco.
How many tickets are we giving away?
4. So me, you, Brent, and our
Usher.
winner. And our winner can take us down, like we say.
Yeah, he'll drive us down
buy us
there,
some snacks,
buy
get
us
us
a little bit of
card.
food, wait in his car so he doesn't have to pay for parking. You just drive around.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm looking forward to that. So someone has that opportunity coming up later.
Someone has just a once in a lifetime opportunity
to drive us
to Becco.
To My Chemical Romance.
Yes.
Okay,
sounds
so
like a good deal to me.
It is,
honestly.
We'll give those tickets away coming up later this hour. We'll keep you updated on Padres and Mets, like Brent just told you. But right now, let's get to this.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Hold on real quick. Can I derail the conversation? I have a pet peeve with my wife. My wife's. Is it wife or wife? I wanted to tell you.
What's happening right now? What happened? Tell us what happened.
She loves the NBA, right?
Yeah.
But she doesn't say, when she says teams' names, she doesn't call them the Lakers. She goes like, oh, I'm excited for Lakers and Spurs time. Like, you mean the Lakers and the Spurs? I have a problem.
Okay, what if she said, I'm ready for Lakers a game? She doesn't say that. She'll say, I'm ready for the Lakers game.
No, but the way she says, she's like, oh, Lakers play tonight. I'm like, no, the Lakers play tonight. Thoughts on that?
I was curious to see if there was how did this come up?
I just thought of it. I think something you just said maybe.
Gotcha.
That's how I feel when I read soccer team names, because you wouldn't say, SDFC plays the LAFC. You just say LAFC, and that drives me nuts. So
okay, that was a terrible e-break. I just wanted to let everyone know.
Well, here's the thing: we can't take that back, and I don't think we'll be able to remove that from the podcast.
And it wasn't good.
Somebody on radio or somebody in their car right now, they kind of got a minute or two wasted of their time
because of that. Yeah, that's my bad. All right, let's get to the wrap.
We won't send this segment to the Marconis.
That was actually great.
How confident are you guys in Robbie Ray?
Brother, I got to see some stuff here. I think there's a lot of a lot of Padre fans that want to be optimistic. They want to be positive. They want to see Robbie Ray be the pitcher that was phenomenal against the Padres right before the trade deadline when they took 3 or 4 from the Giants. That was the only loss that they had was against Robbie Ray. But my confidence is kind of I need to see him do it for the Padres. Casey Mize quickly churned your, whatever you thought after that first start to just having a lot more confidence when he's on the mound. I really would love to see a nice performance from Robbie Ray.
I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, and then I want you to say on a scale of 1 to 10 your confidence. And I'll say at the same time. In Robbie Ray.
With decimals or no?
No, only full numbers.
Full numbers, okay.
Okay.
Because I'm stuck between 2 numbers.
Okay.
Oh, no, I got the number.
Okay.
I got the number.
All right, I'm going to say 3, 2, 1. Then you say on a scale of 1 to 10 your confidence level in Robbie Ray. 3, 2, 1, 7. I give him the benefit of the doubt.
So I was 6.5. I was a 6.5 here.
Okay, yeah.
So I think we were literally both on the same page. But how am I going to give him a 7 if I haven't seen anything?
I agree.
I got to see something.
I'm doing the track record of San Francisco, but you're right.
Okay, how about Casey Mize?
3, 2, 1, 8. Which might be a little high.
Probably a little high.
But he's shown it the last 2 starts.
Should we do this
for
game?
All 26 players? All right, Austin Hayes.
That's great.
All right.
That's good radio.
What was even the
really
question?
Good radio. How's your neck?
Not great.
Okay.
Not a 1 to 10. Put it in the 0 range.
All right.
Next question.
How many homers will Fernando Tatis Jr. end up with?
What does he have now? What's he
14.
up to? 14?
14 with today.
You said 20. You kind of slipped that in there, which I like.
Yeah.
I say 21.
Big number.
Ends up with 21 when the season ends. He's been on a tear.
Yeah.
Problem is when he hits on not a problem, but like you said, when he hits, I mean, he freaking the one he sent today. At some point today, if you're listening to this show, go back and see how far. 452 was it? 452.
452, 113 off the bat or something.
Yeah. I'll say 21. Ends up with 21.
I agree with you. I think I'll have a 2-homer game in there, and that's 7 over the next 35 plus games, including today. I think it's very doable. I'll match your 21. I think he hits 21.
What does Manny have now?
23.
He hasn't hit one since like the Reagan administration.
He only has 23. Yeah. Brother, we were talking about him getting to 30 to 35 a month ago.
Yeah, he might hit 23. He's hitting more than 23. But I don't know if he hits 30 now. I really don't. What if Tatis hit more home runs than Machado?
Yeah, he's on 23.
What if he hit more than Machado?
That can't happen.
I mean, it's unlikely.
Yeah, it's unlikely.
It's unlikely. Next question.
Should the Bus family sell?
All right, so
what is the can you give?
Yeah, I'll give you the latest. I'll give you the latest. The Cliff Notes is this. Yesterday, Shams puts out a tweet basically from the Bus family, everyone other than Jeannie Buss, saying we're selling our shares too. 17.8% of the franchise. We're out. Then I don't know how many, maybe an hour, 2 hours later, Jeannie Buss's attorneys basically say you guys don't have the power
to do that.
To sell our remaining shares. I have the veto power. Buses again came back today and basically kind of said like, we're going to end up selling. 5 of the 6 siblings all agree on selling.
But Jeannie?
But apparently Jeannie might have veto power over all of them. I don't know how that happens. I really don't. But she's in desperate, like, no, I want to be the governor of the Los Angeles Lakers, and the only way I can be the governor of the Lakers is you have to have over a 15% share, like as
so she needs the sibling shares.
She needs the sibling shares. Can I just say this with all due respect to Jeannie and the Buss family? It's time to move on. Like, that's it. Cut the cord. The franchise has obviously been owned by the Buss family for years. It seems like they're now... it seems like they've been in the way for a while.
Yeah.
But now they're even more literally in the way.
2 things. What's Thanksgiving dinner like? Like, what's the Buss family like?
Yeah.
With everything going on? And I don't know the answer to that.
Secondly, I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I know she doesn't probably have any relationship with Joey and Jesse Buss, which are the 2 younger brothers. I don't know what the relationship is with the rest of them.
And here's my other question. Did LeBron know about all this before he said I'm out? The inner workings of ownership? Because this is all played out in a shorter period of time, right? He said he's not coming back in July. It's only August. So, like, did he know that this was happening behind the scenes?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I really don't. And I will tell you that if this happened before LeBron, I think there would be a greater chance that LeBron would still be a Laker and they would have paid him.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Rather than the way it was kind of done. Because I think the chapter was, hey, let's end the LeBron chapter, and they did. But I definitely don't think LeBron knew.
Do you think? Okay.
But just sell. Like this
it's
that's
time
enough.
to sell.
You and I were doing the math on this. First off, I think they each got $1 billion for the $10 billion sale.
Initial sale, but
now $2.5 billion on top. I think what did we say? It's like 75 mil each or something like that, based on the percentages, 3% each.
Just sell.
Yeah.
Final question:
would you prefer the NFL expand domestically or internationally?
For me, domestically, and I'm gonna try to tie something that probably won't happen, but is there a world that a team becomes available in the States, and it's a better chance if the teams are all domestically.
You're saying available expansion-wise or a team move?
Expansion, move, whatever the case is. So I feel like it's better domestically because I think once you have a team international, that's it. That team's staying there forever.
Yeah, it's going to be harder.
But I think we've seen it happen. Obviously, we've seen it happen domestically. We've seen it happen locally. And if there's ever a chance or a prayer of having an NFL team back in San Diego, I think the more teams you have domestically increases that chance.
Listen to this
even if
quote.
It's a small chance.
Listen to this quote.
Okay.
From Roger Goodell, still commissioner of the NFL, has been there for forever. At some point, there will be NFL teams, plural, outside the United States.
Yeah.
He went on to say, I have no doubt that will happen one day. And I've always thought that if they do go to London,
You said
it'll be
that.
multiple teams.
Yeah, you said that.
It makes more sense to not leave them on an island, so to speak. And I think there'll be one day a European division with 4 teams, because I think you could make the math work, so to speak, doing that. And I've been on the record with this as well. And this is how it's just how I feel. I think it's a shame. I think the NFL is so popular in America.
Sure.
It's such an American sport. Yes, they've had success with it overseas, but it's such an American game. You could put this thing right now, San Diego, San Antonio, St. Louis, give me a 4th market. You're humming. You got all good things happening in all those places. You have no problem finding American markets to expand to. It's obviously more of a money grab.
I think they already feel they have all the
Of
American
course they
markets.
do. And they do.
So
they do.
That's the portion that, they would contend. It's like, if we've done this song and dance here in the States. And listen, that's the sad part of this whole thing. It's like, that's it. You whatever all went down 10 plus years ago, your stake in the NFL is probably gone forever. And that could be the reality of it. Now, that doesn't mean you can't get into one of these other pro sports, because I think you definitely can. But the problem with, you see expansion and stuff like that, the biggest issue more than anything else is because nothing's really cooking on hey, we're working on this and we got that in Chula Vista and this and that. Yeah. It kind of like, it sucks all the air out of, well, can a team come here?
By the way, we are less than 6 months from the 10-year anniversary of them letting the world know they're moving to LA. That's crazy that's less than 6 months away from being the 10-year anniversary of that moment. All right, we will give away My Chemical Romance tickets coming up on the other side. If you missed John Kentera earlier, you'll hear our conversation as well coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Updates from the Padres and Mets game 2 of their 3-game series. Brent's looking to be like, oh, will we? Here until 6 p.m. on Schaeffer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, teachers, make a difference each and every day. Now's your chance to say thank you. iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. Nominate an outstanding public school teacher who goes above and beyond for students. They could be one of our $5,000 winners for classroom supplies and resources. Teachers give so much. Now it's our turn to give back. Nominate a teacher now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
You just missed one of the plays of the year in baseball. Tatis just took a grand slam away from Francisco Lindor, incredibly. Just sensational. Just sensational. A 4-run swing at Citi Field. Unbelievable stuff. Look at this, Alan. You were doing your read. So I'm like, this ball's got to carry and top spin. And look at Toddy. Wow. And look at this. His reaction, just staring. And Robbie Ray didn't know he caught it for a second. But he did. An incredible. The guy's just taking over the game out.
Who am I supposed? Should I be happy for Tatis?
Yes.
Or angry at Robbie Ray? Which one? Because I'm still angry at Rob. Before I did the read, you and I are watching Robbie Ray. He can't throw a freaking strike if his life depended on it. Let's give praise to Fernando Tatis for saving Robbie Ray right there.
This guy is such an incredible athlete.
Incredible. Can I give a shout out? Can I give a shout out to the fans real quick that left him alone and did not get in the way?
It's true. But think about these. Like, he's hit a 452-foot homer and raced 100 feet and jumped over a fence and taken a grand slam
Basically
away.
Gets 4 RBIs with that.
And one earlier.
Yeah.
He's accounted for 5 runs. So when you talk about he literally another right fielder there, Alan, Juan Soto, for example, it's 4-1 Mets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about that. A 4-run swing on a play. That was not just, he went over the wall. It's an incredible timing play. Incredible play.
And maybe
just when we're questioning Robbie Ray.
Maybe saves, Robbie Ray's start today, but that's just an incredible play.
I'll tell you what, we've seen him. Merrill's made those plays. Tatis last year, 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
He went, and you're you can't really predict them. You got to have a ball that goes just over a wall like that. But sometimes it is hard to describe the talent level of Fernando Tatis Jr.
Well,
it's unbelievable.
And it's all there's something about that. When you say it's on full display of Tatis, remember we were talking about, this was earlier in the season. It's where's Tatis swag? What happened here?
Yeah.
Who is this player? You would complain about hey, this was my favorite player in baseball. And now I got to keep kind of bringing down what my expectations are for him. When Tatis is at his best, remember I said this, and I hate to go back to it, but just for a quick second. Game 3 of that 5-game set in 2024.
Yeah.
He hits that home run, and Petco goes crazy, and he just stops and stares at it for a second. That's the swag that I'm talking about with Tatis. The swag that anytime he does something, he lets you know, I'm kind of the man. What do you want me to do? That home run that he just hit, the 452 shot, the way he just kind of lets go of the bat and what do you want me to do? I'm kind of the man. That portion is back of Tatis.
Honestly, and when I see stuff like that, Alan, it gives me so much hope in terms of anything is possible. There's a reason why 5 years ago he was trending towards being the face of the sport. Stuff like this. I mean, nobody's doing this. They just had another angle. Brent, can you rewind that? They just had an incredible angle. You need to see this angle from dugout.
I love to look at it too when you're just seeing some of the fans that are also reacting to it when it's unfolding in obviously in live.
And this is one of those games, dude, with a night like this, you have to win the game.
I know.
I'm being serious when I say that. You can't have moments like this and not win. These are part of winning teams. Look at this angle. This makes it even more impressive. That's insane.
That's insane.
He's way up
at the absolute height of
look at the ball boy. He's
at the absolute height of the
and
play.
to your point, look at the fans' reaction.
Yep.
Wow.
Incredible. You're right. That's going to be one of the plays of the year. And by the way, if that was a solo shot, it would still be one of the plays of the year. It just happened to be bases loaded with 2 outs. Robbie, get your stuff together.
He's got to get his stuff together. You can't get saved by the bell
together.
every single inning, right? You're not going to get saved every inning.
He's in traffic every inning so far.
Of his Padres career.
Yes, that's what I mean. Now, I understand people can say, well, he's in traffic a lot of times over his time with the Giants, but you play traffic like that in the playoffs, you're going to struggle.
What I want to see, though, I want to see this Padres team in the playoff, and I want to see Toddy playing free and loose like you just said in the playoffs. And I've seen it. We've seen this guy be unbelievable before in the postseason, but that's what I'm clamoring for right now. Give me this Tatis in the postseason right now. That's what I'm clamoring for.
Yeah, and listen, this is, we all kind of we talked a lot about individual players, and it's going to take a lot more than one player to be the team that they want to be. But maybe that saying of the Padres go as Manny goes, I think we might have to flip that. The Padres might go as Toddy goes.
But remember, dude, when he came up, of course you do. He had that run where like, wow.
Oh, bro, he's the face of baseball.
He's like Superman.
And it was like, we have the face of baseball in the San Diego Padres.
And then there's a moment in time where like he hurts his wrist.
What year was he on the video game? On MLB?
Brent, you know what year he was
21,
on?
22, something like that.
20, 21? Somewhere in there.
Probably that. Yeah,
on
probably
the video
2021,
game.
yeah.
Because he was an amazing rookie.
The face of baseball. Like
42 homers in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's out of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
They fall on their face. We talked about earlier with Juan Soto in 2023. And he's never really fully regained that early career form. Or has he? Based on what he's done the last couple of months.
21.
Has he gotten back to that player he was in 2021? So I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, that's but I like what you said too, because there's something about, it's like yesterday the Mets, everything went their way.
Everything.
And they got the win.
Got to win those games.
If this game, that one single play in the second inning,
have to win the game.
You kind of have to win this game now.
So I see it.
No, it's such a good point.
Isn't
it is. It's not, again, I know that sounds a little dramatic. That's 4 runs that go up on that board. 4. If Tatis doesn't make an unbelievable play at that moment, you're up 1-0 right now.
Because of Tatis.
Yeah. If you're Robbie Ray, it's like, I was given a gift. I'm coming out and.
You're right. To a pitcher, dude, 4 runs being saved is true gold to a pitcher. To take 4 runs off a ledger is unbelievable. And hopefully, like, they take advantage of that. They need to win this game. It's like, what do we say, Brent? Like, there's like plays in football history where you're like, it's an amazing play, but they lost the game. It's like you have a Hail Mary and you get to, well, I hate to use this because Brent's a Bears fan. The Caleb Williams unbelievable play last year where he's like circling around and throws this incredible, what was that playoff game to bring it to overtime, then they lose in overtime, right? So you got to win those games.
Well, every sports fan has a moment where like there's an unbelievable moment, but your team lost in that game or in the playoffs.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Like we all have those.
No doubt. All right, so Padres leading the Mets 1-0. We did promise you tickets to see My Chemical Romance.
Do you want to tell them again what they get?
They get 4. Oh yeah. Well, you either get 4 tickets to see My Chemical Romance, or you can drive me and Alan and Brent and someone else from iHeart.
Yeah, we'll
to
just
the concert.
We'll have a good time.
But what you're actually getting if you call right now is a 4-pack of tickets to see My Chemical Romance. Call 877-767-4760 if you want them. Caller 4, you are going. Great giveaway. 4-pack of tickets to see My Chemical Romance August 30th at Petco Park. The number to call is 877-767-4760. You need to call right now. Tickets, by the way, are available at Ticketmaster.com. If you missed John Kentera, you'll hear a conversation coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll tell you about another concert giveaway we have for you as well in the 5 o'clock hour. We're here until 6 on Schaeffer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. Something big is coming on September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day arrives with massive deals, exclusive deals, and an all-day celebration built for sports fans. The countdown has begun. All roads lead to game day.
The DraftKings sports app is now live in all 50 states. That means California, from Texas to Florida. Every fan is in on the excitement. One app, every sport, all 50 states. DraftKings Game Day is yours. Remember the date, September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day is the kickoff of a new season, a new era, and the biggest day in sports history. Get ready to celebrate. New DraftKings customers sign up with the code SD760. Spend $5, get 200 rewards within 21 days. That's code SD760.
In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click to claim. Issued in non-withdrawable predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends August 23rd. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo. Nationwide based on sportsbook predictions and free-to-play sports contest availability. Varies by state.
Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by iHeartAdvertising.com. Padres and Mets are playing game 2 of their series right now in New York. We are in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and it is 1-0 San Diego. In other news, Bill Rasmussen, the co-founder of ESPN, has passed away at the age of 93. Rasmussen died at his Florida home from the effects of Parkinson's disease. Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, and even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
All right, final hour. Alan here on Schaeffer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We have Muse tickets to give away. If you want to see Muse at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater later this month, we'll let you know how to win those tickets coming up. So we're keeping our eye on the Padres and the Mets in New York. You're also keeping your eye on other scores around the NL tonight, right? What did you just tell me?
All right, 1-1 Marlins and Phillies. They're top 5. Oh, Jesus. That's not good. It was just 3-0 Red Sox on the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
And I told you the bases were loaded.
4-run score?
It's 4-3 Diamondbacks. I don't know how.
I would guess on a 4-run homer.
But there's another dude on second.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay, maybe not. Interesting.
So could be a couple of hits, whatever the case is. But
Arizona 1 game behind.
So Diamondbacks up 4-3 on the Boston Red Sox. We said this from the beginning, and it is the truth. No, it was a grand slam. So there's a double after that
the
grand slam.
All right.
We did say this from the beginning, which I think is the most important thing. Just handle your own business, and we'll see if the Padres are able to do that. But yeah, so those are a couple of the scores that we'll continue watching around the league.
Honestly, fascinating series. Last night, Padres with 3 runners thrown out at the plate. Tonight, Tatis is homered and robbed a grand slam. It's been a crazy 12 innings or so.
Why do I want to get out of New York? I want them to finish this series. Let them just win tonight. We'll figure everything else out.
Interesting reporting, I guess, from Bob Nightingale.
Okay.
Now, John Kentera mentioned this earlier, and you've missed that conversation. We'll hear it coming up at 5:30. He writes this, that it's shaping up to be a frantic NL wildcard race, as we know, Phillies, Padres, Diamondbacks.
Mm-hmm.
He says it could also determine, the final 2 wildcard bursts could determine the fate of 3 managers. The contender among the trio that misses the postseason, listen to this word choice, likely will also be looking for a new manager.
I disagree with that.
I disagree.
Okay,
man.
so go through.
He says Torey Lovello is in the final year of a deal.
Let's start there. Okay.
Final year of a deal. They were in the World Series 3 years ago.
Yeah.
They've been disappointing since.
I could see that happening in Arizona, but he's going to have a job in the majors.
Yeah, if he wants one.
It feels like
I agree.
He'll have a job. But I could see that happening in Arizona because they have had a couple of disappointing seasons. Like since they made the World Series, I don't think they've made the playoffs.
It's possible.
So that one's, I think, more
possible. And by
possible.
the way, that might, as we sit here today, be the most likely scenario, which is Arizona on the outside looking in. We'll see. But as we sit here today, they're a game out. Then you got Don Mattingly. He's only the interim manager. And there is a belief in the industry Alex Cora could be the next manager of the Phillies.
But it's not, I think, okay, let's say Mattingly makes the postseason. Let's play this out here. So Mattingly comes in. I know at one point they were 10 games below 500 with the Phillies. I want to say they were like 9-19 or something like that, right?
And now they're 10 over.
So this guy takes you to the postseason. Let's say you win your wild card. Like, at what point does Don Mattingly, at what point has he earned the job? Or there's kind of nothing he can do because they're already set with, this is the guy we want to be our manager for years to come, which can very likely happen.
He can do things like Nightingale writes this. Cora, who turned down the job when Rob Thompson was fired, is expected to be the Phillies' next manager, barring a World Series berth or title. Okay, yeah, of course that would change the conversation. Then he writes this on Craig Stammen, which doesn't exactly scream he won't be here, even if they miss the playoffs. He says Stammen may have the best job security of the trio. He signed a 3-year deal in November. Yet, if the Padres miss the playoffs, someone needs to be the fall guy. And Stammen is A.J. Preller's 7th manager in 12 years since becoming GM.
Stammen ain't going anywhere.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so for a couple of reasons. Number one, who does it look bad on if they don't make the postseason and they fire Craig Stammen? Who is that
Preller.
representing? It's representing Preller. Like if I'm AJ Preller and I got how many managers under AJ Preller's
7.
watch? Okay, let's take this to what we're hoping for come Monday when new ownership officially starts and they're introduced and over these handful of months they're going to start working on what the future of the franchise is going to look like, what their beliefs are and everything else. Do you think, and these are very successful people, they think they're running a good business if they have a new manager, a new general manager, and I'm talking about in any business every year and a half, 2 years tops, Well, who's hiring all these people?
Right.
That's where people are going to look.
Right.
That's an awful look on AJ Preller. If he gave Craig Stammen 1 year and decided I got to fire him, that's on you. That's not on Stammen.
Which goes down another path, which is when the new owners are introduced on Monday to the media and in turn to the fans, the representatives speaking on Monday are Jose Feliciano, his wife Kwanzaa Jones, who's also representing ownership, and the first, I think, black owner in baseball, or will be the only active owner. And then you've got Eric Grubner that's going to be speaking. No AJ Preller in that conversation. Maybe that's typical. He's on the baseball operations side.
Yeah,
Grubner's
that's
on
okay.
the marketing, COO side of the organization. But just, food for thought. Preller's not part of the press conference on Monday,
which I don't have an issue with. I really don't. I mean, Preller's going to talk baseball every opportunity that, whether it's the trade deadline, whatever the case is, that's his role.
Yeah.
He's not coming in. Now, I can't remember how much different was that with Seidler when Peter Seidler came in.
Assumed ownership. Now, he was already part of the previous group,
was already buyout. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Fowler.
I don't remember what that day was like, truthfully.
And I'm just asking because, maybe because those two were like
close,
very close.
Right. And this is a newer relationship.
This is different.
Yeah.
This is different, a completely different look and feel to it and everything else. But yeah, that I think of what Nightingale is saying there. The only one that makes most sense. I understand the Mattingly, if that's not the manager they want for their future. I understand. I'm laughing because out of nowhere you start neck exercises.
Well, first of all,
exercise.
I told Alan all day, hey, my neck's killing me. At the break at 4:30, he punches me in my right arm.
You know what? That was
a mistake.
That was a mistake. That wasn't me. You don't see this very often. The pitcher challenge. Did you see that?
Oh, he challenged from the mound and he was
yeah.
right. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't see that very
This
often.
ump is awful.
He has been so bad, dude.
Is so bad.
He's like 0 for 6.
If they didn't have challenges, if they didn't have ABS in this game, 7 people would have been thrown out.
That's how it used to be. This guy is so bad.
The pitcher never challenges.
It's such a good point.
You just don't typically see the pitcher challenge.
Here's what I think, by the way, Alan, and I don't want to live through this world, but I think if the Padres missed the postseason, nobody wants to see it. But if they did,
okay, we talked about this. 86 games, they missed the postseason. Okay?
If it happens,
yeah,
I think Preller's back. I think Stammen's back because I think Preller with his multi-year deal survives what happens here with the new ownership coming in. He can at least buy a year, and they can say, "Let's watch."
Yeah.
And then Stammen, you're not going to fire him coming off a team that missed the postseason, then ask AJ Preller to hire the next manager.
That's what I'm saying. My point is that let's say you fired Craig Stammen. What was accomplished? You hired somebody that had no experience from a managerial position. You were probably in the thick of a playoff race the entire time.
Right.
You had a number of players that played below of what their contract is, their value is, their expectations are. You had a rotation for portion of the season that was, and I'm not even trying to sit here and tell you Craig Stammen's the best manager. What I'm trying to tell you is if they don't make the postseason, I don't think that's on Craig Stammen. And if it is on Craig Stammen, why'd you hire him?
Yeah, I mean, here's what I consider a more likely scenario is more of I don't even know why Bob Nightingale would write that. And the reason I say that, Alan, is how could you have reporting when the ownership group hasn't even been introduced?
Yeah.
So how are you reporting on the Padres managerial situation? You don't even know the owner. There's no world where he has had any conversation with Jose Feliciano. As in, my point is this. It's speculation.
Yeah, it's speculation.
It's pure speculation. I just don't buy it. Is where I am with it.
Some angles I like. I don't think the Padre one equates.
Right.
I don't think the Padre angle and Craig Stammen equates. Now, I will tell you this. We've had conversations about Stammen a couple different times this year where it's like, is this the right guy? And,
sure.
What's this guy doing? Is he too buddy-buddy with some of the players? How much of this is on Steven Souza? We've hit on the manager. We've hit on the managers. We've hit on Craig Stammen. But I think you got to like the position that the Padres in. If I'd have told you before the season started, you're sitting 8 games over 500 on August 18th, you taking that?
I think trending where we thought they might trend, which is 87 wins.
I'm taking it.
That's 12 over.
You're in the thick of a playoff race.
Yeah.
You're right in the hunt. I mean, that's kind of what the Padres are.
What were we expecting? Nobody thought they'd be 30 games over 500.
No, I actually, to be honest with you, I think if you told me that they were hovering around 500, I probably would have expected that more.
I mean, the truth is they were. If not for this really impressive run, I mean, when they entered the 9-game stretch against the bad teams that we kept referencing, the Miami, Colorado, San Francisco stretch, they were bad themselves. They weren't very good, and then they went 8-1 and maybe turn their entire season around based on what happens over the next month. So it's a long way of us saying this. Would you agree? You think Preller's back no matter what happens this year?
Preller back no matter what this year.
That's the question.
Yeah, I think he is, just because I don't think new ownership's going to make that significant of a change that early. But I do think Preller would be on the watch. Like I do think, let's say they didn't make the postseason this year, and then next year they're hovering around 500 and maybe don't make the
at some point there's going to come a time. That's
a different conversation. That's a completely different conversation. Now they make the playoffs, then clearly Preller is here, and so is Staley.
Yeah, that's well said. All right, we're going to give away tickets to see Muse in San Diego this hour. You're going to hear from John Kentera coming up at 5:30. We're going to switch gears for a moment to San Diego State football. Some of their upcoming matchups against programs in the P4. Will they remain on, or are they coming off the calendar moving forward for the Aztecs? This year they're playing at UCLA. Will they keep matchups like that moving forward or not, based on where college football is heading? Plus John Kentera at 5:30, plus giving away tickets to see Muse in San Diego later this month, this hour on Schaeffer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey guys, it is Schaeffer again for my friends over at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. August is a great month to get to Starlight Pool. It really is. Enjoy next level chill. You can soak up the sun, soak in the views at San Diego's ultimate rooftop pool with day passes starting at just $40, so you can grab your friends, relax, and make it a pool day to remember. Plus, keep those weekend vibes going. They've got Sunday pool parties at Starlight Pool with live DJs and cocktails and cabanas and all-day rooftop energy. All of this at the Hotel and Spa at Jamul, where you can experience elevated luxury with their refined hotel stay and rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, and all the excitement of Jamul Casino Resort seamlessly brought together in one unforgettable destination. And now you can take your stay to the next level. They have exclusive hotel packages crafted for the ultimate escape. While you're there, you'll enjoy all of their dining options like Jamul 23 with their lobster buffet every day. Enjoy all-you-can-eat lobster every day, plus dozens of other delicious stations at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place.
All right, SDFC is back on the road tomorrow night when they take on Portland. Our coverage with Adrian and Darren begins at 7 p.m. on your home for SDFC. San Diego Sports 760. They are cranking out these games here.
They are like my neck. I need to see someone.
One of the greatest things I've ever seen in my time doing the show with you so far.
It's like snapping my
Just
neck.
out of nowhere, we're talking, and I lost eye contact with you, and your head just started looking up.
Dude.
And it was cameras and everything.
It's annoying.
John's going to show up tomorrow like an old school wrestling manager with like the big neck brace.
Yeah.
Got to get the
Yeah.
neck brace on.
Go
Gotta
Jimmy
get the neck
Hart on
brace.
us.
How do people play a sport every day? Cal Ripken Jr. or like quarterbacks that play every week. I can't get out
We
of
do
bed.
5 days a week in here. We're coming to work. We're talking for
but
hours.
we're just sitting.
Hours of talking.
But we don't do anything.
But they can't
physical.
do what we do.
It's true, but
They can't.
it's a good point. It's a good point.
No, physical stuff is like real stuff. Yesterday I went for a hike. Probably hiked for 1 hour. By the time the hike was done, I'm like, what do I do with my legs? Like, what do I do?
Really? You go
It
like
wasn't
ice
actually
bath?
that bad. I will say this, my dog, he was tired as hell. I'm like, you're a golden retriever.
Yeah, you
Get
shouldn't
up.
be tired.
Let's go.
You got 4 paws. I got 2.
Yeah, I
I
got
don't
2.
even have paws.
I got 2.
Okay, there's a big difference about it. It's so much easier with 4, in my opinion.
It's
In my
a big
opinion,
difference.
it's a lot
No,
easier.
It's a fair argument there.
Couple
John.
of things. We're going to give away tickets to see Muse here in San Diego coming up this hour. You'll hear from John Kentera coming up in about 10 minutes. So Kirk Kenny yesterday in the UT writing this. He covers out of 6 football. He said San Diego State could be losing matchups with Power 4 opponents. This is the way of the world, unfortunately, in FBS. We're seeing more P4 against P4 and more group of 6 against group of 6. Now, San Diego State, for example, this year, as we know, Alan, they'll play in the Rose Bowl against UCLA.
Yep.
I mean, they've had all kinds of home games against power programs. UCLA came to Snapdragon recently. You know, San Diego State currently has on future schedules Oklahoma at home, 2 in Norman and 1 here, multiple games against Missouri and others. But he writes, and this isn't official, but he's writing and speculating to some extent that some of these series might be in jeopardy just based on where college football is heading. How does that make you feel as an alum? Yeah, I don't like it either. I don't like it either.
Yeah, I hate it because it's almost like we're freaking. You know what I don't get? We've been getting San Diego State's been getting squeezed out for so long. Like for so long, you weren't a part of the Pac-12. For so long, you didn't get an opportunity to play some of these more premier programs. By the way, the program doesn't have UCLA doesn't even have to be good, but that's still a fun matchup for Southern California. I'm sure San Diegans would love it. I'm sure a lot of people that graduate from UCLA would love that matchup. Matchups against Arizona, like give me all these, right? I'd like to see
absolutely.
these. You take that away as well, and I don't know what that does now to the conference. What happens now to the conference when you can't have some potential signature wins here and there? Like, yeah, that I hate to hear that. That really sucks.
Yeah, I don't like it either, and we'll see what happens moving forward with some of those series, including, again, Oklahoma and Missouri at Snapdragon Stadium. Then there's this other list that comes out. I mean, we're days away from college football, right? Week 0 is not this weekend, but next. And The Athletic puts out a list of coaching tiers, Alan. They have 8 tiers of FBS coaches, right? From the top of the sport to the bottom of the sport. And where does your head coach rank? What tier do you think Sean Lewis would be in? 8 tiers.
8 tiers 8 tiers of college football coaches. Where's Sean Lewis?
Like tier 1, for example, is 2 coaches: Kurt Signetti at Indiana, Kirby Smart at Georgia. But then, like tier 2, established winners, and you have like Ryan Day at Ohio State.
Sure.
And then down the list.
Are there many? I mean, I'm assuming most of these upper tiers are just taken by Power 4 conference coaches.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. Not entirely, but I think
so.
That's accurate.
I would say probably the highest he can be is tier 5.
He is in tier 5.
Okay,
which is where he entered last year at the Athletic. And
so you would think he'd have jumped up.
That's my point. He went 3-9 his first year. They put him in tier 5 heading into his second year, and now he's coming off a 9-4 season, and he's in tier 5. To me, it's for whatever reason, I feel like he gets slighted in some of this stuff. Like, I'll give you an example. You know, like in tier 4 is Temple's head coach.
Yeah.
In tier 4 is Air Force's head coach. You know, in tier 4 is Purdue's head coach.
So the argument is, why would they?
Yeah, I don't understand why are they
other programs?
Yeah, why the head coach at the University of Texas San Antonio is in tier 4, and then Tier 5 has Sean Lewis and a number of others, by the way, including. But I don't know. I just feel like he's gotten some disrespect.
What they probably want to see from Sean Lewis, go do it again.
I guess, yeah. I mean, it's the Athletic, for whatever it's worth.
No, listen, I think the Athletic does a good job, and I think they've done a fine job of whatever it is that they're covering. But I would say that, is it disrespect, or is it disrespect to Sean Lewis, or is it disrespect to, we don't feel the schools that you're playing week in and week out qualify for a higher tier, or whatever the case is. We want a longer track record. We want you to do this for a couple of years. We want you went 9-4 last year. Show us another 9-4. I think it has more to do with that than just what he accomplished last year.
Yeah, man. I don't know. For whatever reason, I feel like nationally, he doesn't necessarily get the recognition he should. That's just how I feel. Now, maybe to your point, he only did it. Yeah, they went 3-9 the first year, and then he went 9-4 this past year. So we'll see. But anyway, they put him in Tier 5. What happened here?
Looks like he literally lost his glove. A Mets outfielder going for a ball loses his glove, and
okay,
Padres
so it was a single.
Start out the inning with a single with Cronenworth.
All right, so Padres are leading the Mets tonight at Citi Field 1-0 on the strength.
You said must win after Tatis's play.
I said you got to win the game based on how you've done it. So Tatis is homered, then he's taken a grand slam away from Francisco Lindor.
What inning was that in? The second?
It was in the bottom of the second inning.
His Robbie Ray's third and fourth was a lot cleaner.
Great. Yep.
But, I think we'll remember, if Padres win this game, I don't think you're going to remember a stellar start from Robbie Ray. You're going to remember Tatis serving 4 runs back the other way.
So Fernando Tatis Jr. on full display. We'll see if the Padres can even this series with the New York Mets at Citi Field. Again, every night is so crucial, with Diamondbacks playing and the Phillies playing and the Padres trying to remain in a playoff
Boston
spot.
tied up Arizona for a piece.
What inning is that? That's probably early.
Early. That's early.
Everything's fine. All right, we're giving away tickets to see Muse August 29th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. We'll hear from John Kentera on the surging Padres. Coach on the other side. He's actually broadcasting live on 760 on Friday afternoon from 12 to 3 as well in front of our show. You're going to hear from Coach on the other side. Schaeffer Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app.
Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by iHeartAdvertising.com. Right now in New York, we are in the top of the 5th inning between the Mets and the Padres, and we are in the middle of the Fernando show. Not only has he robbed a grand slam in the game in the outfield, he also has 2 home runs and 3 RBIs today. Padres lead 3-0. In other news, Bill Rasmussen, co-founder of ESPN, has passed away at the age of 93. Rasmussen died at his Florida home from the effects of Parkinson's disease. Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, and even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
You know what? Schaeffer and Sliwa.
Yeah.
San Diego Sports 760.
That's
Let's
right.
catch up with John Kentera on the surging Padres, who are leading tonight in New York over the Mets 3-0. If you missed the conversation earlier, we asked John Kentera, who's going to be here from 12 to 3 on Friday, filling in before Schaeffer and Sliwa. We asked him for his thoughts on the way the Padres have played over the last month.
Well, I think a variety of different things. I think one of the things, you take a look at the acquisition of Luis Rengifo. Here's a guy that, had had some pretty good years, had some up and down years as well with the Angels, then went to Milwaukee and was only hitting 205, got DFA'd, and the Padres signed him when he became a free agent to a minor league contract. I think he's given the team a real shot in the arm. And I also think, Camposano is added to the offense, and even Freddie Fermin, even though he's still hitting under 200, once upon a time he was down hitting in the 140s, and he's getting close to 200 right now. So you're getting a little bit of offense from your catching core that, early in the year was kind of, a little bit abandoned, but, Camposano is really doing a nice job. But, I think more than anything else, that game last night was tough to swallow. That's a ball game they should have ended up winning probably 5-1 or maybe even 6-1. They kind of an anomaly. They get all those guys thrown out at home plate there in the first couple of innings. But I think the starting pitching's been good. I'm very anxious tonight to see how Robbie Ray performs. I've always liked Robbie Ray. He has not pitched great since he's been in a Padre uniform, but I think he'll get that turned around. I think Casey Mize, the last couple of starts, has done a good job. And, the thing that's been pretty consistent, they've had a couple of hiccups here and there, but you go to them so much as that bullpen. That bullpen is where this team's bread and butter is. And, they got to keep, Morahone and Miller healthy. You can make it a 6 or 7 inning game, and then you bring those guys in, and more times than not, it's going to be lights out for the opponent. So, I just think a lot of guys are stepping up. Fernando obviously has been much better the last couple of months, and now his power's starting to show up again. So, there's some really positives right now. And are they a perfect ball club? No, but they're competing day in and day out, and teams more so than not are having to beat the Padres. The Padres aren't beating themselves.
Coach John Kentera joining us here on the Schaeffer and Sliwa show. Coach, I know you've, obviously your entire life you've followed, you've watched as a fan, you've been as integral a part of the Padres as anybody really in the city over the years. This upcoming Monday, Jose E. Feliciano and Kwanzaa Jones will be introduced as the new owners of the San Diego Padres, majority owners. To you, Coach, what are you hoping, and not necessarily even what they say on Monday, but more what they do? What to you would make this the right ownership? If we're looking back in a couple of years, what are they doing that you think is going to qualify them to being the right owners for San Diego?
Well, I think more than anything else, Alan, I've seen ownerships come in here, and they're all excited. It's a new play toy for a lot of these people that have a lot of money. And, initially it's really, really fun. They wanted to come to the ballpark and bring their friends out and, sit up in the box and all that good stuff. But over a period of time, going to the ballpark day in and day out, I don't care if you're a ticket taker or one of the service reps or one of the ushers, going to the ballpark 81 times a year gets draining. I mean, it's a lot. And I know they'll have a beautiful parking spot and all that. But, I want to see them be present. I don't want them to just be here on special occasions. I think it's important for any ownership to be out there shaking hands and kissing babies, quite frankly. And, I don't know if they currently have a home here. I would hope they would. If they don't, they would purchase a home and they'd be really a part of our community. I do like some of the things that I've heard about them. I've done a lot of investigating just on my own, and they both seem to be fantastic human beings. They've done a lot of charity work, and I think they'll probably continue to do that. And I also think that, some of the statements we saw in that press release, and we'll find out more on Monday, I think they've done a good job. I mean, any owner in the right mind would be crazy if they didn't say, hey, we want to bring a world championship to San Diego, and we want to be a part of the community, and we want to have a great experience for you fans when you come to Petco Park. And all those things are being done. I kind of go back to a meeting I had with Peter Seidler before he hired A.J. Preller, and he said to me, he goes, John, he goes, I want the Padres to be a competitive ball club year in and year out. He goes, 4 out of 5 years, I want to be in the playoffs. And, every once in a while you're going to have injuries that, knock you off course. And, I think for the most part, I mean, the Padres make the playoffs this year, 5 out of the last 7 years. Right now we're sitting at 4 out of the last 6, which is the best in Padre history. And I guess the other thing that I would say regarding this group is I would really like to see them along, and this would have to go along with A.J. Preller. I'd really like to see them be able to build that minor league system up. And I know they've built up and traded a lot of guys, but I would really like to see them build up the minor league system to where we're starting to grow more home-grown Padres rather than trading them away for guys that we're hoping they're going to continue to have good numbers in their career. I'm big, being a baseball guy, I'm really big on building the farm system, and I think that's something that I'd like to see this new ownership really try to get rolling again, because I think that's going to be the lifeblood of our organization long term.
Makes sense. I think a lot of people would agree with that take. John Kentera, coach, with us right now on Schaeffer and Sliwa. What do you think of the job that Craig Stammen has done? Thrust from middle reliever into not just coaching, but managing is his first time in baseball. What do you make of the job he's done so far?
Well, I'll tell you what, John, you're stealing a little bit of my thunder because I do want to talk about this in great length on Friday. But I'll tell you what, I don't think Craig has done anything that's been eye-popping as a manager, nor do I think he's done anything you say, oh, my God, why is this guy managing a Major League Baseball team? I think he's been very consistent. I guess there's been some times when they've lost a ball game and I watch the post game, I wish I'd get a little mad, or he's been very, very positive. I think he's done a good job considering he's coming in for a guy like Mike Schilt, who rubbed everybody the wrong way, including me, to where last year I would turn off the post-game TV show. I got tired of his, critique and all the media when they were just asking basically a basic question, in my opinion. Buddy Black used to encourage people to ask questions to try to, teach people baseball. And Mike Schilt, anytime you asked him any kind of question, he took a brundage to it. So I think Craig Stammen's been a breath of fresh air. I thought it was very interesting, a guy that I've known for a long time. And you guys, I'm sure, have had him on the show. Bob Nightingale came out with a comment yesterday that if Craig Stammen and the Padres don't make the playoffs, Craig Stammen may be the scapegoat for this organization. And I'm not buying that. I'm not buying it one bit. I think Craig's done a really, really good job of just being, the steward of the ship. I think he also was very smart in hiring the guys he hired around him. Randy Knorr, good, solid baseball guy as his bench coach. You had Ruben Niebla, Bob Henley, who I'm sure had a sleepless night last night being the third base coach. That was a tough one last night. Really, the only one that I would argue that maybe he shouldn't have sent was Cronenworth, because it would have been one out and the bases loaded if he held him up at third. The one on Manny, I thought actually they should have challenged that call, and Bogarts ran through the stop sign on the third one. But as a third base coach, he probably felt like the dumbest guy in the ballpark that night. But, they've done a good job, I think, hiring good baseball people. And, this team has continued to work hard, and he's got this thing turned around. Let's see if they can finish the job.
The coach, John Kentera, joining us here, Schaeffer and Sliwa show. Coach, it's been obviously a huge turnaround for the Padres, and you mentioned a couple of the names, Casey Mize, Robbie Ray, but their offense and what Tatis and Jackson Merrill and some of these other names, Ty France, what he's been able to do all season. Just as we kind of get ready here for the final about month and a half, maybe a little bit less than a month and a half of the regular season, just how I don't know if dangerous is the right way to put it, but how much do you believe in what you've seen over the last month is something that is sustainable for not just the rest of the regular season, but potentially a playoff run?
Well, Alan, I think it's sustainable. Machado's got to start hitting more consistently. I mean, I don't have all the numbers in front of me right now, but I mean, he hit well under 200 really until July. He had a really good July, and now he's really dropped off again in August. And, he has not been a good postseason hitter, Alan. I mean, he's got, I think, a little over 200 at-bats in the postseason. He's a 209 career hitter, so that troubles me a little bit. But Merrill's made some adjustments to where he's able to get to the high fastball now. Fernando's playing with a lot of flair. I would like to. I love when he steals bases, but his percentage really, considering his speed and his ability, he's gotten thrown out far too many times this year. I think he has to start becoming a little bit more of a student of the game on stealing bases, because I think he can be a real threat there. Bogarts has shown little power. He hadn't homered, Allen, since May 30th. He got a couple of homers here in the last week. But, I think just kind of keep doing what you're doing. Play good defense. They normally play good defense. They play as well as defense really as anybody in baseball right now. And Cronenworth's come alive. And you mentioned Ty France, guys. I think that's going to be an interesting topic because he signed a 1-year contract. I mean, how willing are the Padres going to be to extend him past this year? Is he going to hit the free agent market? I don't know what kind of contract you offer a guy like Ty France. The only thing I know is the guy's done a heck of a job on both sides of the ball this year.
He really has, and he's been a big piece, and I do wonder if they'll have a chance to keep him or not.
Kentera's asking what the finances are. What are you offering next year?
Here's what I would offer. John, honestly, what would you, real quick, what would you say? Like, I'll throw something out. Tell me if you think this is reasonable, too high or too low, like it's Goldilocks. 2 for $20.
I think 2 for $20 is fair. I'd be afraid to go a third year.
Yeah,
I would go 2 for $20. I don't know if the Padres would be willing to do that.
Yeah,
I also think they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do with Gavin Sheets. They're going to bring him back again next year. I kind of won, maybe not. How much is a plantar fasciitis, played into his poor performance swinging the bat this year?
John, great to hear your voice, man. We're excited to see you this Friday. You can listen to John Kentera right here on 760 from 12 to 3 this Friday afternoon. But, Coach, we appreciate you taking time for us.
Thank you, Coach.
Hey, I appreciate it. And, Alan, we didn't even get into the Lakers. We'll do that another time. And, John, get ready for your depth chart, man. Football's not far away for our Aztecs. Looking forward to the Portland State game.
There we go. I'm looking forward to seeing you at Snapdragon Stadium, and I'm working on those depth charts right now, John. All right, great catching up. Thanks again for doing it.
I'm going to have him save himself.
You're welcome, guys. Take care.
All right, the coach.
I think that was the whole I don't want a migraine to talk Lakers thing, that portion of it.
Let's give away a 4-pack of tickets to see Muse on August 29th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. We'll do that on the other side, plus updates in Game 2 between the Padres and the Mets. It has become clearly the Fernando Tatis Jr. game so far tonight.
So far.
At Citi Field. Stay with us on Schaeffer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, let's do this right now, Alan. Let's give away tickets to see Muse August 29th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. If you want a free 4-pack of
Let's
tickets,
do it.
which includes 4 tickets, the 4-pack, call 877-767-4760 if you want that free 4-pack of tickets to see Muse August 29th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Caller 2, you've got 4 free tickets. Call right now if you want them. 877-767-4760, but you need to call right now. All right, what a night in New York to this point for the Padres, who lead the Mets 3-1 on the strength of Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah, what a just kind of New York's supposed to be the big lights. You get an opportunity. We're talking with drawing a blank here. Your buddy that came on a little bit earlier from the Mets.
I'm not going to bail you out. What do you think his name was? If a lot of money was on the line, would you have any shot of getting his name right?
I don't think I would right now.
What if it rhymed with Lat?
Pat.
And his last name rhymes with
Pat McCarthy.
Okay.
So there's this conversation we were having about how does New York perceive San Diego?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
How do they
That's
perceive the Padres?
Mm-hmm.
And every time I think we had something at the trade deadline, and it was like, all right, we got this Mason Miller, Tatis, like all these guys have been tied back to New York. The Yankees, they've been tied to Adrian Morejon, but specifically Mason Miller. But Tatis, a lot of off seasons. You got some New York radio host that's like, we trade Tatis, give him Volpe.
Yeah,
it's like true. It's always Volpe.
It's so true.
And Volpe, I don't even know if he's in the
with the Yankees.
With the Yankees right now. They should be happy with it.
They should be happy with Volpe.
You should make them pay part of that contract too. We should make the Padres pay for some of that contract.
We need slug. So true, dude.
So anyway, with that as a conversation, it's like, here's Tatis in one of the largest markets. I know they're not playing the Yankees, but obviously the Mets are the Mets, and just putting on an absolute show. Yes. And tonight, you're going to see on X, or you're going to see on Instagram, or you're going to see SportsCenter, whatever the case is, highlight after highlight on Fernando Tatis Jr. And this is how we remember the guy. Like, this is what everybody just assumed Tatis was going to be for the Padres.
Always.
For years.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I get it. Not 2 home runs, not robbing a grand slam, but Tatis is supposed to be on your highlight reel a couple of times a month, a couple of times every couple of weeks. Just the unbelievable performance.
Put it this way. If he did this tonight against the Yankees in the Bronx, this is on the back page of the New York Post tomorrow.
Yeah.
Now, against the Mets, who suck, it's not going to be on the. Right. It's not probably, but if he did this tonight,
but it will, because it's Tatis. Like, he's going to get love on social platforms.
Oh, absolutely. But I'm telling you right now, like, if he did this against the Yankees, this is like front page New York Post type stuff. It's been a ridiculous night. Did we even mention his second home run here? Because he's hit 2. We did, didn't we? And of course, he's, like you said, robbed that grand slam from Francisco Lindor. Padres are leading 3-1 in the 6th inning, and I'll double down on what I said earlier. Earlier, I'm like, you have to win this game. Now that they lead by 2, it was by 1 earlier. You absolutely have to win this game.
You bring in Robbie Ray in
for the 6th inning. What'd you say? Starting 70 what pitches?
Maybe 77, 78, something like that.
I mean, you kind of want to start the 6th inning with
just start him, and you get one guy on. Go straight to your.
They may do.
They had Rodriguez already warming up in the bullpen.
I mean, they're definitely treating it more like postseason games. Craig Stammen. Right? Recently, he's been more aggressive.
He has, and especially this game again. If you got a 2-run lead, you're known for your bullpen. You had a lot of guys rest over this last few days.
True. Yeah, that's a good point too.
You had a pretty good amount. I don't know the last time we've seen Mason Miller. I feel like they've definitely let some of these guys rest.
Have we even mentioned that, by the way? Like, that Mason Miller, and I think there's reasons for it, and workload's one of them. But yeah, you're right. He last pitched August 12th. What's today?
So about a week ago.
6 days ago.
About 6 days ago.
Yeah, hasn't pitched in 6 days.
Is there anything? You looking at anything? I don't because I haven't heard, because I also haven't heard anything. Yeah, but he had a game. He had a game where they had a 2-run lead. They brought in
that Friday game, but both Morejon and Miller didn't pitch in that game. As if to say they're down.
Yeah.
They pitched too much.
But then the
from that point
next
on, they haven't
day,
needed them. Next day they lost like 5-1.
But wasn't there another save situation in there that didn't come in?
Because Sunday they won big. Yesterday they lose.
Mhm.
So today's kind of the first time he should actually throw since Friday. I mean, you have to see him tonight if they have a lead, right? Then we'd be concerned about him.
If he didn't pitch tonight.
We'll see him. I think we're going to see him.
Phillies up 5-3 now on the Marlins, and Red Sox up 6-4 on Arizona.
That's good. The Red Sox thing, because if the Red Sox do win and the Padres do win, now all of a sudden you have separation.
Yeah, and there is, I mean, obviously, yes, a little bit of separation. I don't know. In a weird way, also, Miami's kind of hanging around. So even if Philly beats Miami, it's not the end of the world. You got Miami and St. Louis just like close enough. Within 3 games.
I'll feel better like if they can stretch it out to a couple of games in general.
On Arizona?
Yeah. I'm going to start to feel better about it.
How about the scenario you played out? You're like, all I'm asking for is get to the final weekend against Arizona without that series being the decider. Now you can start working with other things, rotation, this, that.
I mean, it's very realistic, truthfully. Mm-hmm. If they were to end tonight, a couple of games up, there's still 30-something games until they play the Diamondbacks.
Sure.
So let's see if they can accomplish that. Trying to even a series with the Mets tonight and then potentially trying to win one tomorrow morning. So we're going to react actually to 2 games tomorrow. This one will go final and then the morning game tomorrow.
What time are they tomorrow? 10:35? 10 a.m.?
10:10.
Okay.
Kevin Acey will join us from New York.
I'm going to see something. This is pathetic to do it, but we've done it before. We'll do it again.
Yeah.
What are we looking at as the strength of schedule?
You're doing the strength of schedule game.
The Tankathon. Where are we now?
You love that site.
Where are we now?
Weren't they in the middle of the pack the last time you looked?
14th toughest.
14th toughest.
Philly's got the 5th toughest schedule left in the majors. Arizona tanking here, 21st. I know that stuff doesn't really matter
in baseball as much, but I just like that they are playing. I'm talking about San Diego specifically. I like that the team is playing well.
They still got Tampa Bay, the Dodgers, the Yankees, Arizona, and Miami. So they still got some interesting series left.
All right, we'll see if the Padres can win tonight and potentially win the series.
Where are you going?
New York. I'm going to leave for the day. I thought it was over.
We don't go until 7?
No, we're going to 6 today. Just today. And every other day. Back tomorrow, 3 p.m. Kevin Acey will join us. We'll react to this series between the Padres and the Mets as San Diego heads home.
Go work, everybody.
After tomorrow. All right, if you missed anything today, sportssd.com or the iHeartRadio app. For Brent and Alan, I'm John. Keep it here. Schaeffer Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Peace.